Well, good evening, and how are you all? I hope you're keeping well. And yeah, it's been interesting the last couple of days. Um, there's been a lot of movement going on, so it was about time I did something. It's been a couple of days since I've been on a stream, not obviously my own, but with other people. So we're going to go through the clubs by club, who's actually been doing some business and who's not. Basically, there's a couple of teams out there that are not doing anything at the moment. So we're going to start off shortly with that. Oh, apologies, that's again, I keep forgetting to do that part. So I hope everyone's enjoying their Friday, as it's now the end of the week for most people. Bear with me, guys, and just get that sound off, because obviously can't have that going on when we're trying to do something. Okay. So yeah, we're going to start going through this now, and feel free to add any comments while we're going through this. So let's look on the first team we're looking at. So Arsenal. So as we know, they've done the most transfer business at the moment. They've been the most busiest team in the case of probably spending money. As you can see, with Kai Havertz coming in for 65 million. Yeah, maybe you can say that they paid over the odds for the man, but at the end of the day, it's money well spent in Arteta's mind. And yeah, well, if we saw his skills when he was out in America the other day, that doesn't bode well being an Arsenal fan. But yeah, he's got not a bad goal when you look at it. So we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen there. Julian Timber came in for 38 million from Ajax. By all accounts, he's quite a classy little defender. So hopefully we'll see him actually kind of fit well in with Arteta's plan. And as you know, the one that was been going on the longest between the two clubs, Arsenal and Declan Rice. It was going a while. We weren't too sure what was actually going to be happening. And then, of course, once the deal was going through, it then took the lawyers to kind of take its time getting things sorted out. But obviously, it's now done. £105 million, and he's an Arsenal player, and in free payments. So West Ham's received their first payment. So hopefully they do some business. Good evening, yeah. How are you? Yeah, I'm going well, mate. I hope you are as well. Yeah, thanks for your comments earlier on. You'll see there's a couple more bits and pieces been added on since we've been talking since, so it'll be interesting. I hope you're keeping well yourself. One player that's obviously taken a while to get himself out was Xhaka. It's one of those, is he going to actually go? Because there's a few times when he's been touted that he's going to be leaving the club, and then he kind of stays where he is. But it finally happened, and I think most Arsenal fans were well and truly happy. And 21.4 million, not bad money as well. And of course, you can see there's a few others that's kind of obviously kind of been moved on to other clubs. Ainsley Nathan Miles. I mean, when you look at that, I mean, not bad. I wouldn't mind having him at West Ham, actually. He's still got something about him, so we'll see. It'll be interesting. Possible targets. Well, one that's kind of rearing its head, and it seems like it's gathering more momentum, is this Mohamed Kudus from Ajax. I'm not too sure what the fee is, but it seems like it's gaining momentum, so there must be some truth in it somewhere along the line. So we'll see if that actually comes to light. Moise Caicedo for Brighton. Well, there's a series of clubs. Arsenal are kind of fans of him. I mean, we know obviously Chelsea are apparently are the favourites, but we'll see if that's actually going to come to fruition. But if it's not going to happen at Chelsea, then maybe Arsenal will come in with a late bid. So we'll see. We shall see in that. And Patello's gone for Gremio. So yeah, it'll be interesting. Yeah, he's replying with Arsenal look like they're doing good stuff. Yeah, I mean, one thing I'll say about most of the transfer windows, if you look at the last couple of windows, it's been really slow. But this season, I don't know why, but for some reason, teams have gone in early, especially Arsenal. I mean, as you see, what they've spent so far, and considering what they're looking to get rid of. They've obviously cut their wage bill down, which obviously keeps them out of that FFP. And yeah, no doubt, I think we're going to see maybe 1 or 2 more signings for Arsenal. They're definitely going to need it with the Champions League coming up, so it's going to be interesting next couple of weeks before the season starts. And his reply was saying, "Also, I had no choice after last season." Yeah, I totally agree on that. I think everyone knows that their team was actually weak in all departments. Really, not being funny. I don't know if you felt the same, but when you watched one of their games, and then of course the camera swings around to the bench, there was no one on there you could say that really was going to do any business. That's going to come on for like. So yeah, with what they've signed so far. Yeah, I mean, will they be actual kind of, actual contenders for the title this year? It's possible. You never know. It's possible. It's coming again with Arteta's tactical nous will really be under pressure this season. Yeah, I think it seems to be the talk of the town at the moment with all these players he's buying so far. If he doesn't do it this year, then surely the man's got to go. He's held on long enough. He seems to be untouchable in that respects with the board. I mean, when you look at it, as you know, Unai Emery didn't have the same luxury what Arteta's had. I mean, obviously the club's got some plan in mind. Arteta's part of that, and yeah, they backed him seriously this season with this money. What they've spent so far. I mean, as you know, the Rice deal alone, that's making the most expensive British player. Shows the intent of Arsenal. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they get on. I think the next 5 games when the season starts is going to be interesting times for Arsenal. And I do believe they've got a friendly against Man United. Is it tomorrow? I do believe. So that will kind of definitely show where they're going to. Possible outgoings for Arsenal. Well, there's obviously Kieran Tierney. I know most fans would like to keep hold of him over Zinchenko. But who knows? Newcastle, are slowly building a squad. Especially as you know, they've got to keep their wages down. But Kieran Tierney would fit the bill. But there's also Celtic with Brendan Rodgers. He obviously was their former player, and there's a good type with him and Rodgers. So that's kind of possible to keep him there. Bring him back to the club. We'll see. The forgotten man, Nicolas Pepe. Who knows? I'm not too sure what's going to happen with that one. And apparently we've been linked to West Ham with Nuno Tavares, and that I don't know what Arsenal fans think of that. Probably kind of celebrating at this stage, but it'd be interesting. It should be very interesting if we're going to get hold of him. But other players apparently that's been told that they can literally go are Cedric Soares, Albert Lokonga, Rob Holding, and Florian Balogun. So we shall see. Yeah, bear with me, mate. Let me just get that organised. Bear with me. There you go. You get yourself on there. Hopefully it'll let you in. Any problems, let me know. So let's have a look at the next club, basically. Before I leave on Arsenal's one, the one that's kind of possibly could generate a lot of interest is Florian Balogun. There's a host of clubs that are looking to get the player. I mean, obviously, he's still a favourite with Arsenal fans, so it'll be interesting if he does move on. We'll see. We will see. It's going to be an interesting one if Arsenal are prepared to let him go. So Aston Villa. So let's see now. Obviously, Aston Villa's brought a couple of players in so far. Pau Torres from Villarreal. And, of course, then 2 frees with Rico Richards and Yuri Telemans. So, Telemans, I mean, not a bad player at all. It'll be exciting to see how he actually kind of fits in with this squad. Players out. As we know, Ashley Young was the one that's kind of moved on to Everton. And then, of course, we've got a couple of others there. I mean, obviously, Marvellous Nakamba has gone on to Luton. So for an undisclosed fee, we'll come on to them. Evening, James. Yeah, I'm good, mate. I hope you are as well. How's things? I hope you're enjoying your Friday evening. Hopefully not, you've got your work out of the way with. Possible targets. Well, this name that keeps popping up, Moussa Diaby by Leverkusen. Yeah, I think it's, Emery's obviously a fan of him. It'll be interesting if you will go with him. Pedro Goncalves from Sporting. And an interesting one, Giovanni Lo Celso. Yeah, I'll come on to Spurs at the moment because there's some interesting news going on there at the moment with them. James Dunlap, not bad, shattered, but I'm good, thanks. Good to hear, mate. It's good to hear that. Hope you're relaxing with a nice soft drink or a good drink to get you in the spirits. And then obviously pop up possible outgoings for Aston Villa. Boubacar Kamara to Liverpool. I don't know. I don't know if he will. Well, Emiliano Martinez. Well, is he going to be coming as a first choice, or is he just going to come in as a fullback? As a full stopgap. And James Donald, Pau Torres is a coup for Villa, good defender and someone that Emery has already worked with. Yeah, exactly. So I think they'd be good with him in there. Bear with me, guys. I'm just going to bring in Yeti. So, good evening, sir. How are you?
How's it going, mate? Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good. Yeah. How's things with yourself?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. It's nice to see that we're actually sort of doing something now. It was getting a bit of a worry because you want to get him in for like pre-season and all that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
And I think we've got Ola Aina coming in, who I've just watched a YouTube video that says that he wanted to go to West Ham, which is not the best thing you want to hear when someone comes in. But I mean, he looks all right. And then you got Elanga as well, and he's got a bit of pace and he looks quite good as well. So
that's
no
quite an interesting one, I think that's a good coup for you as well, kind of getting hold of Elanga and that. I mean, he's obviously fell on the pecking order with Ten Hag. So I think it's great for you.
Well, the thing is, I mean, when a player gets took out of their sort of main team, it can take a lot of pressure off them. So we might get the benefit of that.
Yeah. I think if you look at it, and for the player, it's obviously a fresh start, isn't it? He can actually basically make his mark in the new club, and I think he will do. I mean, he wasn't afraid of scoring goals, and like you said, he's got the pace. So I think that's going to be a good addition for you guys.
Hope so. Get rid of that twat that called Lingard.
I think they've actually got rid of him, I do believe. So yeah, I mean, there was talks about, from the West Ham faithful. Oh my God! Don't say Moyes is going to go back for Lingard again. It's like, please no. He's
he scored a lot of goals for you guys, though, didn't he? Towards the end,
he did. Yeah, he did. I mean, if you look at it, we put him back on the map because he kind of another one who fell on the back. And then,
definitely,
it wouldn't surprise me. We're going to see him go to the Saudi league, like the majority of people are doing at the moment.
He burnt the map when he came to us. Definitely didn't put him on it. You put him on it. He burnt it when he turned up at our place because, I mean, it cost us so much money. It's unreal. It's just like, what was it? I saw it the other day. It cost us something like 56 million.
Wow.
Absolute waste of money. I wish you'd have got him.
Well, this is the thing because, considering like what we did for him, and basically he just kind of thought he was going to get him at Man United again, and it's like, well, if you've been knocked back already, surely you must realise that there's no way you're coming back again.
Exactly.
And then, of course, when he rejected us, and then before you know it, we heard his sign for you guys, everyone was like, really?
I never sang nothing, mate.
56 million. That's just.
I say, I never sang anything. Not a thing. I didn't want him because I could see straight away all it was like a marquee type signing from the owner's son who just thought, I mean, I say marquee. I mean, it is marquee for us, really. But and I think it was just that. It was just like, oh, let's show who we are now. Let's show Forrest are now. Let's bring in someone like Jesse Lingard, because he is a name regardless of how he plays or whatever.
Yeah, it's true.
And I think that's all it was. And I said that from the start. I was never with it. Never on board with it.
It's mad, isn't it? It's mad. Well, like I said, I think he's actually gone now, so that's one thing off the wage bill for you. I don't know what.
Definitely.
What was he actually on? Do you know?
100K a week, and
Jeez.
then there was the other money that it cost us. I think a mate of mine sent me a message the other day, and it had the proper how much it had cost us for the whole season. I think it was something like 56 million. It cost us. No wonder we ain't got no money now.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Let's move on to the next club. So let's see what we've got on here. So Bournemouth. So obviously we know they set the new manager, Gary O'Neill, got the new fellow in, and they've done a bit of business.
Why sack him? I don't get why they sacked him, because he was pulling up trees. Well, pardon the pun, as being Forest, but you know what I mean. He was he did actually pull up trees every time we played him, so that works.
I think what it was, he had that little string of games, and then I think the last, was it 5 or 6 games, he didn't win a single game, and I think that's the reason that they got rid of him.
They did well though, because everybody had him tagged to go down. I mean, they had us tagged to go down as well. But
definitely,
we just made it by the skin of our teeth, basically. He was lucky we had to play Arsenal at the end, because they're not as good as us, so we knew we could win that one.
It's true.
I love it.
James Dunn was agreeing with us here, saying, "Yeah, look, that sacking of Gary O'Neill was crazy." It was. I mean, he just said it, James. I mean, when you think about it, I mean, he did well when he played for us, but when he got the job at Bournemouth, I think it raised a few eyebrows. But he didn't do a bad job there. He did really well, and I think he deserved a bit more recognition than what he got. The sacking, I think, was harsh, and James has just agreed with that as well, basically. Evening, Mummy Flossie. How are you doing? It's good to see you on here.
Hello, Mama Flossie. Hi, James as well.
And James is coming with Bournemouth be right down there fighting for survival, without a doubt. Yeah, I think they will do in that. I mean, if you look at the players that have come in, you've got basically Justin Kluivert, his son, coming in from Roma. Yeah, good signing. We'll see in that. So yeah, that should be quite interesting. And I don't know about this Traore from Sassuolo. Should be. I don't know. I don't think it will.
I've never even heard of all for them. To be
the name rings a bell, but I think it's more the club. I think Sassuolo, wasn't that where? What was that Cardiff City player, the poor lad who got killed in the plane crash? Was he from that club?
Yeah, I can't remember his name now.
I think he was from there.
That was bad. That was. Jeez, that was bad. That signing a player and then that happening. Well, not just that. I mean, the fact that he died was bad. Not just that they signed.
Yeah. OSG's in the house.
Put things in
Evening,
context.
Dave. Hope you're keeping well.
How you doing? Old school gunner. All right, mate.
James saying hello to Mama Flossie. And we're obviously saying, hey, Mummy, we're replying back to each other. Even old school gunner.
See, I'd never cancelled Bournemouth out, to be honest. I mean, we did a few times. Whenever we played them, we thought this is 3 points, and I try not to do that with any team now, because it's like you order something called humble pie, and I don't like eating humble pie, so I tend not to try and order it unless I'm 100% sure. Like with the Arsenal game at the end of the season, I knew we was winning that. I said it right from the start of the season, we'd win that. So yeah.
So just see some more comments. Just add them in first of all. James is saying hello to old school. Been mad because we're working months. Haven't had time to tune in. I know, mate, and I'm glad we got hold of you, James. It's been a while. It has been a while. Old school's replying back with respect, and obviously saying hello to Mama Flossie as well. So you look at players out for Bournemouth. They've had a bit of a clear out, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, Jefferson Lerma to Crystal Palace, that would be an interesting signing. You know, what he'll do for them.
Yeah, definitely. Palace kind of player as well, isn't he?
Yeah, I agree
one.
with that. I must admit. Our old boy there, Junior Stanislas, has finally has been released. He's been there quite a few years.
Yeah, he was another one that was supposed to be a big player for West Ham, wasn't he, at one point? Junior Stanislas.
Yeah.
I think he was decent as well at the start.
Yeah. I think it's one of those, though, isn't it? You know, like all players that kind of get that kind of breakthrough, they've just got to maintain it, and some of them just can't do it. And unfortunately, Junior was one of those.
Yeah. Well, we were just on about someone in the Instagram group for Newcastle, Freddie Adu. Can you remember Freddie Adu that they said was the new Pele? where's Freddie Adu now then?
Yeah.
I think he's serving burgers in McDonald's, I think.
It's true. Yeah, he's probably there with James is coming with Justin Kluivert's an interesting transfer. Years ago, he was linked with United, other big teams. Yeah, it's true. And
I think
he's another one. I've been just mentioning Adu there, and that, you know, another one that kind of jumped off the radar, basically. Considering, like, you know, you've got the old man's surname, and it doesn't always mean that you're going to be that same type of player.
There's loads of them, though, isn't there, that all of a sudden... I mean, I can remember, you know, you probably won't remember because we was, like, in the Championship, so you won't remember any of that. Only we had the nightmare of having to remember that. But when Fawaz came, he had this guy called Al Asawi or something like... I can't remember his name, Matawa or something. And they said he was the next Messi. And you watch his like YouTube, you know how you watch some YouTube stream. It's like, oh mate, this guy's amazing. He's absolutely amazing. But he's doing it against Kuwaiti teams. We never even signed him. I never even heard of him after that.
Wow.
It's like,
yeah, I mean, this is the problem, isn't it? This is the problem. Old School Gunner's coming in with an interesting question. Thoughts on the new season? Will Man City continue to dominate? I think if you look at it, I mean, what do you think of that?
Honestly, I do think it's a weird one because Arsenal are strengthening in the best of ways. They've still got more strengthening to do now, but to be quite honest, I don't think it's going to be easy for any of them because all the teams are strengthening, and it's going to be a battle of midfields because some of the midfields, I mean, Chelsea, Caicedo and Fernandez, if they sign Caicedo, that is just an immense midfield.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's a weird one. I don't think it's going to be as easy, but I do think City will come out on top.
Yeah, I think so. Again,
sorry, Arsenal fans.
Yeah, unfortunately, when you look at, I mean, as we said earlier, Arsenal are kind of strengthening the areas where they need to. But when you look at City, regardless of whatever team he puts out, you've virtually got two first teams there, haven't you? There's no
exactly, and the big difference is his manager. One knows what he's doing and knows how to tactically change something when it's not going right, and the other one, up to last season, doesn't know how to change something when it's not going right.
No, yeah, he's definitely got no plan B. That's for sure. Yeah, no, I totally agree on that. Actually, smash the likes for Tony, everyone. Thank you very much, Old School. Yeah, I thought I got rid of that bloody bot as well, Mama Flossie, and that bloody thing still there. And now Luke Chapman, as always, new Northampton Town Puma away kit. Haven't got it yet. It's all in paid for.
Luke?
Yeah, doing Luke. How much you pay for that, by the way? And hopefully it's cheaper than what we're paying so far. That's for sure. And James is coming. We still think City will win the title again. Yeah, Arsenal looking strong, and Liverpool, I reckon, will come back strong. Yeah,
I don't think Arsenal. I don't think Arsenal are there yet, and I don't think it'll be with Arteta. I could be wrong. At the end of the day, if they start doing what they started doing last season and got 93% of the season, I mean, they've already learned to kind of handle the pressure a little bit better. So hopefully they've sort of kind of learned from that. But the thing is with Arsenal is this, right? And same as I've said to Arsenal fans, how are you going to feel if we beat you in the first game? I mean, it's a long shot, but what's their attitude going to be then?
Yeah, it's an interesting one because, I agree with
you
that.
don't have to pause that long. It's not that much of a long shot. How long he pauses, he's like, is this guy crazy?
I think what I mean by that pause is when you look at Arsenal, what he's done, he's actually kind of, as you said, he's bought right for a change. Well, apart from the Havertz, I mean, I think they paid over the odds for that. But
yeah, definitely.
I mean, obviously, every penny they spent on Declan Rice was money well spent in my eyes. Definitely in my eyes.
Yeah, definitely.
But when you look at it, he needed to buy, the right players. So hopefully from that, we'll see. It'll be an interesting one. But I agree with, James has made a relevant comment now. I mean, they do look strong. Liverpool, they've bought a couple of good players as well.
Yeah,
obviously, as you said, Chelsea are definitely kind of adding, into the mix. Shall we see?
I can't see Liverpool having another season like last season.
No, I don't think they could afford to, could they really?
No.
I don't think they could.
I just can't see it. Can't see it at all.
Yeah, welcome back, old school. Sorry about the old stream bot there. I mean, I thought I got disabled that, but obviously it's probably AI running it more than what I am. He's back anyway. Yeah, they put me up.
Damn bot coming over here, stealing our jobs.
Yeah. So these are possible targets for Bournemouth. This Alex Scott, I mean, we're apparently linked with him as well, but I think Bournemouth are going to offer more money than what we are anyway, so that should be an interesting one. And even the
how can they offer more money than what you guys are?
No, the problem is, I mean, you've probably heard it already, and you've probably experienced it. Well, you won't because with Lingard, but when you look at the fact of once we've got that money for Rice, even though it's in 3 installments, and I think people forget that part, they only assume that we've got 105 million in our pocket. We haven't.
Yeah, true. Very true. Yeah.
So there's that.
Well, knowing Arsenal, they'll probably give you 50p and the rest in add-ons. It won't shock you, mate. It won't shock me.
It's true, though, isn't it? What they've done, so how they did this was, well, it's just. I think even Arsenal fans were a bit miffed at how it was handled. They could have actually lost the deal with you. And I'll give credit to City, really, because at the end of the day, they didn't break their transfer policy. No. They stayed. I think they've learnt their lesson, haven't they, for what they bought over the years.
100%.
And especially with the so-called charges in the background. So that should be interesting. What's going to happen with them. But
I think that it's like you say, it says a lot about City that even though he's a player that you want, they still will not break that. That says a hell of a lot about them and the way they run. To me,
anyway. I think it gives them a bit, in my eyes, a little bit of credit because there's always with teams that have got money behind them. It's always a case of they bought the league, but as you said, if they're not willing to kind of break the bank for Rice. And fair play to them in that respect, because we know they've got the charges hanging over their head as well. But it kind of, for me, City would have been the better option. He would have learnt more. He would have improved more as a player. I'm not saying he's not going to with Arsenal. I think he'll get more game time at Arsenal. But that's really the difference more than anything else. I think that's what it is. Old School's coming with the son of Clive as a class move. He's a top player. He is a top player. Evening, Carl. How are we doing? Hope you're keeping well.
I think we wanted him as well. I think we wanted the young Clive.
Yeah,
obviously we got beat to
that good move.
Well, so. I didn't call, mate. All right.
Arsenal. Old School's coming. Arsenal got lucky that Rice wanted to play for Arsenal. Otherwise, he would have went to another club.
Yeah,
there is that to it. But I think, as always, when you look at it,
the London
money
connection
speaks at the end of the day. So, Carl, we might be saying, or I'll say on this, Carl, just keep it to lower caps because this Streambot thing doesn't like full capitals. It kicks you out for some reason.
Yeah, the Streambot's got an Hitler complex. so be careful.
I think there's a love child after Saka. Yeah, that would be an interesting one.
Mm.
And Oswald comes in with Rice baby.
Yeah. I can't blame you.
It'll be a good signing for him. It will be a good signing for him. So let's move on to Brentford. So Brentford's done a bit of business as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, the first one was Nathan Collins from Wolves, £23 million, and apparently that's the highest paid money for an Irish player.
Wow.
Fair play for them doing that.
I don't remember him, to be fair, but...
And he was gone. Hopefully he'll be back again, like Dave was. He was kicked out as well, Mama Flossie. Hopefully he'll be back in soon. Well, we can't have it always. Romeo Beckham from Inter Miami. I've never seen the kid play. So I don't know.
Romeo Beckham's like one of them. It's a bit of a sort of marquee Beckham's son kind of thing. I don't know. I kind of see that one might be a flop, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think
I could be wrong. Could be wrong. But
it depends if he's like his old man. You never know. It would be interesting to see in there.
Well, if he's like his old man, then it's a major signing.
It'd be good in that respect. Collins is class. He's no Roy Keane, however, no, but he's a class player. I agree with that. As Dave was saying, the bees are on it.
The bees know. The one thing about Brentford, though, is they've got such a great sort of scouting network going on there and stuff like that. So anybody they sign, really, you've got to say is going to fit what they do, because they have a really good scouting network. So I can't knock any of them, to be fair.
I mean, James is just...
I know what they're doing.
James has said there, Brentford's got a great scouting system. Just answer Dave's question. Are you watching the Women's World Cup? Yeah, watching bits and pieces when I get the chance to. So that should be, it's not been bad so far, apart from obviously the Ireland game. We won't mention that one, Dave. And James is coming.
Brentford want to...
Sorry, mate.
Brentford, as it says there, possible targets. Brentford want Brennan Johnson, but they're only offering 30 million, which just buys one of his shoes. So, they need to be up in that if they want him.
Well, exactly. I mean, as James has mentioned here, obviously they need another striker to come in to replace Tony while he's serving the ban. Yeah, definitely. Mind you, they've got the obviously Mbamba. Well, not his name. Is it Mbamba? No.
Mbambo or something.
Or Mobino or something like that. He can score some goals.
Oh, I know you mean.
Yeah, he's not bad.
The one that scored against us, I can't remember his name.
Yeah, that's the one.
Begins with W, doesn't it?
Yeah, something kind of weird.
Wicker or something. Wicket.
Oh, there's that one as well, isn't there? Yeah, I can't remember. Same Mr. B ain't on this and that. He would have let us know straight away.
Yeah, he scored 2 goals against us.
Interesting to see on the players there. Oh, Pontus Janssen, obviously, must have been some kind of agreement there. Yeah, because when you think he's been their captain for the last couple of seasons, he's been massive. Quite an immense player for him. So that was quite interesting to see him.
Yeah, he's good at Leeds, wasn't he? And then they picked him
he was.
up and,
yeah.
He's a bit of a... He can all of a sudden make a crazy mistake, though, that costs you a game. So I kind of understand that.
True. I mean, obviously, there's a couple of players on loan. But, go on then, possible targets, as you said. Yeah, Brennan Johnson, Joachim Anderson, Pedro, for Flamengo, and then possible out Sergei Canos to Valencia. So that would be interesting if they're going to...
Well, that Pedro, that's another one we want.
Who's that one?
Yeah, Pedro from Flamengo. That's another one we want. Well, we want him, Brentford want him, and Spurs want him. So it's probably going to be Spurs, I would have thought. Well, it could be Brentford, because, Brentford performed better than Spurs. So, who don't perform better than Spurs, apart from us, because I think they beat us twice. So, can't really say that, can I?
No bragging rights at the moment. But, I like Thomas Frank. He's a great manager. And what I like about Brentford, we're classed as being a family club, but Brentford and that, it's like you're all part of the family there. Every game they finish, they make sure that every fan celebrate. Congratulate for turning up, watching them. It's great to watch.
They're where they deserve to be, man.
I don't see them many times.
They are totally where they deserve to be, in my opinion.
Gavin. Evening, Gavin. I hope you're well, mate. I miss the Arsenal transfers. Any chance you can start over early doors? Well, we just mentioned about the main ones that you've signed. I think you know the ones they are.
How you doing, Gavin?
And it's just a couple of others that's going to be coming in. But, let's do him a favour. Let's quickly go back to that one. Just got to quickly show him. We'll be kind for him.
Well, that one took about 40 minutes. The rest of them's going to take about 3 seconds.
Yeah. There you go, Kevin. You can see there. So put your players out, and obviously your possible targets. We were just saying Mohamed Kudus for Ajax.
He
seems there's a lot of momentum building up on that player. I don't know if there's any truth in it. As always with these transfer rumours and speculations. For me, until you see the player is in the shirt or they've signed a bit of paper.
Exactly.
Speculation is always good to talk about, but doesn't mean that we're gonna do all of that. So we'll see.
I don't want to see that bollocks Rice.
Yes, to see.
Hey, we'll take him if you want.
Old school saying I love the Foxy football myself. That's the women's football. I know he's got a soft spot for that.
I like women's football if they swap the shirts at the end of the game. As soon as they start doing that, I'll watch.
That's when it's even better. James is saying Thomas Frank, in my opinion, the most underrated manager in the league. I'm a fan of his. Yeah. Fun enough, if we got rid of Moyes, I wouldn't mind Thomas Frank. It'd be great. Our club, I do believe, what he can do there. Definitely. Welcome back, Cole. Sorry about that, mate. Yeah, I know. Pain in the backside. And as Gavin says, don't want to see that bollocks Rice.
Skynet, I mean.
So let's move on to the next one. Brighton. So as you can see there, they've had a couple of players come in. Obviously, the old fogey, James Milner.
Yeah. They've had a lot of outs, but like Brentford, they're another team. See, what I think all of us should be doing is whenever Brighton targets somebody, we should jump in and nick them. We should jump in and steal them because they're obviously going to be good and worth 100 million at some point. So we should be jumping in. We don't have to scout. Get rid of our scouts, get rid of all that, and just like everyone that Brighton wants or Brentford wants, just jump in and steal them, offer more money.
I mean, if you look at it, De Zerbi and that, again, I think in certain respects, he's a bit like, Thomas Frank, a bit underrated kind of thing, but when you look what he did last season with Brighton.
100%. 100%. Well, he taught Arsenal a lesson, didn't he?
Yeah, it's just desserts. I don't think Arsenal fans saw that coming. That result when they played it.
No way. That was crazy.
So yeah, it'd be interesting. That's quite good. I mean, obviously, you got this Verbruggen from Anderlecht and Dahoud. So
can I just say what Carl Ross has just said? If you make one of these guys a moderator, and I can vouch for Carl Rossi, and I can 100% vouch for Mama Flossie, I can vouch for both of them. So if you make them mods, the bot might disappear.
No, fine. I shall look to do that. Obviously, you'll have to tell me how to do it because I've never done it before. So,
well, I've done it, but I can't remember how. I was drunk. As per usual.
Evening, Steve. Hi, Tony, buddy. Hope you're well. Yeah, I'm well, mate. Hope you are as well. Good to see you in here, mate. Good to see you in here. Gavin's saying I'll watch it when it's skins versus shirts. Yeah, I think we'll all be doing that one. James Dunlop, Brighton again, superb scouting network. Joe Pedro, I reckon, will make a real impact.
At the end of the day, right, it's all about equality, isn't it? So men swap shirts, so women should as well. It's all about equality.
True.
So
equal opportunities and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
Does that work, Carl? I think it would, mate. I've never seen it appear in my other chat rooms myself. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how I do this. As I said, I'm still learning this part of it. If you remember at some point, it'll be appreciated.
Yeah, just give me a few minutes and I'll have a look, see how I did it.
No worries, mate. Any of you readers, mate, doesn't have to be me. No, I know you do a good job, Carl. I've seen it in other ones. And obviously, Mum was
they're brilliant.
of course, Carl.
Them two.
Stapes, I think you should be taking Bright as manager and not their transfer targets. 100%.
Right,
Does that mean Moise Caicedo's not coming to you then, Stapes? I'm Flossie, the bot thing with the open channels. Yeah, little thing. No, and he's mentioned him again. But yeah, I mean, obviously, Alexis McAllister obviously going to Liverpool. That was a statement from Liverpool straight away, signing him. I didn't see that one coming. Didn't see that one coming at all.
Definitely.
And obviously, Brighton obviously signed this Kasper Kozlowski, and as soon as they signed him, they loaned him back to Vitesse again. So, yeah, interesting one. And obviously, you loaned a couple of players out as well, quite a few. And of course, the rumour mill with the possible targets. Scott McTominay, I think he's linked with several clubs, just like Balogun is as well. Just like Conor Gallagher. And of course, you got this Eileen Jr. from Juventus. Don't know. Levi Colwell's Tottenham.
Yeah. No, that's not it. Community. That's it. Right. So if you go on to YouTube Studio, you might not be able to do it now. I don't know. And then basically, you've got YouTube Studio. What was the other thing I clicked? I forgot already. Hold up. YouTube Studio and then settings.
Yeah.
And then community. And it says managing moderators. And then underneath it says standard moderators. If you put the names in there, then they'll be the moderators for your chat. Managing moderators probably be the best one because that'll probably get rid of your bot because they're managing everything.
Brilliant.
So just stick Mama Flossie or Carl Rossi in there. Stick them in a box. Stick them in a box.
Yeah, I will do.
Did
you swear? No, he didn't swear. He just said, just a little AI twat, but obviously he didn't like that.
Yeah, it's a bit woke. The bots are.
No worries, Carl. No worries. I know you earn enough on your royalties on that. No worries. So Burnley.
Yeah, Burnley.
The other day was James Trafford.
Yeah. They're going to be an interesting one as well, to be honest, because I think they know how to pick the players. And also, with having Company as the manager, he's got that pull to be able to want people to play for him. So I think they're going to be a really interesting. They're not going to be fighting relegation, I don't think. I think they'll be around mid-table, to be honest.
No, I don't think so. I think, as you said, Company's he's got that a bit about him. Obviously, when certain players go into management, some have got it and some haven't got it.
Exactly, 100%.
Company has definitely got it. There's no two ways about it.
See, the thing is, if Arteta had done the same thing and he'd have gone to a championship side first off, I think he would have got it eventually as well. But with him taking over Arsenal straight away, I don't know. I just don't rate his technical nous, to be quite honest with you. I mean, I know that might be a bit controversial, but who gives a shit? I mean, I've never not been controversial, so,
No, I agree with you. I mean, I think certain Arsenal fans will agree as well. When you look at Arteta, it's the fact of, I know it was not this season, just finished the season before that when they was at Newcastle and they was losing 3-0, and the man just stood there like a statue. It was a coaching staff that did all the team talk and got the players motivated. And it's like, you're the manager. You're supposed to lead by example, and that was just clearly not showing it. So his man management skills are set to be questioned. And the difference between when you look at Arteta and company, a company has got that kind of, as you mentioned, you look at him and it's like, I don't want to mess with him because I know he knows his stuff.
Yeah.
Arteta,
he has that respect.
It's a case of like, it's like, I'll meet you outside and we'll have a scrap.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think if we meet outside and have a scrap, I'd rather have it with Arteta than company, to be honest.
Absolutely. Like that's how Arteta's supposed to square up to Klopp. And he's holding his arm out, hoping that people was going to pull him back. Klopp's on his own. And Arteta's looking around and saying, grab me arm. And
it's like when you're in the pub, innit, and some guy starts on you and you're going and you stand behind the table and go, if this table weren't here, mate, I'd knock your head off. And you're holding the table to make sure it stays there. Come on, mate.
That's really true. That's so true. What's Gavin's put in here? We better not be selling Balogun. Why keep Nketiah when he's shy? Arteta giving him the number 14 was a mistake. Well, it weren't just giving him the 14, it's the wages he's been put on as well, by all accounts. I mean, that's for a player. I don't know.
Yeah. That wage for Arteta, for Nketiah is absolutely astronomical for a player of his lack of quality. I mean, it's just not even real. I mean, he's a hard-working player, don't get me wrong. I think he'd be all right in the midfield where he's actually getting around people and actually, trying to get to them. But as a goal scorer, nah.
He misses too many opportunities. I think he thinks too much when he's in front of that goal. That's for sure.
And he runs into somebody every time he runs into the box. I mean, what's the point of that? The whole point is to avoid
they learn that in training,
make a run around him.
Exactly. I think that's what they must learn in training. Run into a player. Saka does that quite often.
Yeah, exactly.
James is saying, good on James Miller getting an ideal squad player. So, mate?
Like Cole Rossi just said, if company changes, you're dead. Yeah, I can agree with that. I'm very fast. I'm very fast and nimble. I'm very fast and nimble, mate.
See, I think like everyone's agreeing. Milner's, for Brighton is a great player, great signing.
Oh yeah,
definitely. He offers.
I agree.
Bags of experience, and he'll obviously, he'll definitely kind of lift up the youngsters. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he's the most boring person on the planet, but I mean, he's
boring James Milner. You see the Twitter account. It's always good to watch.
That's hilarious. That Twitter account. I
think
I'm just going to get another drink, buddy.
No worries, mate. No worries. I'm just going to go through this chat anyway. We've got the chance. James, indeed, Gavin, especially the fact they've got Europa League football this season. Yeah, definitely. And Mama Flossie Company has a presence. He definitely has. I mean, as we just said there, compared to Arteta, he's just got that saying about him, hasn't he? Whereas Arteta, I don't know. James, Burnley should be fine. Company needs Turf more to be his fortress. Yeah, I agree on that. And I think, if he learns what Dyche used to do at some points at Turf Moor, I think he'll have no problems there. And I think that's something he'll base his team around. As you said, James, keeping that place a fortress. Carl's coming in. I'll pay to have a scrap with Arteta. I'll pay more money to scrap for one of his fanboys. Jeez, that's true. There's too many of them. Gavin's saying exactly. He's won everything. He'll be great in the dressing room for big games. Most definitely. I mean, as I said, certain players that go into management, they make it. There's no two ways about it. They make it, and they've just got something about them. Slapes. We've got Super Mick Arteta. He knows exactly what we need. Yeah. If company changes, you'll be dead. It's true. Yeah, I would like to see getting a fight with him. I'm paid to watch Carl Rossi. And I'm supposed to be hilarious. He kicked me head in. We'll all pay good money for that. Gavin saying wages nothing compared to giving him the number 14 as a shocking decision. Yeah.
Big
Nketiah, and that is, yeah.
And Wright agreed
he's
to
on a
it as
hiding
well.
life
I wonder if Wright had agreed to it if he'd have given him his number.
Yeah, exactly. I think he'll soon change his tune.
Thanks,
Carl. Thanks for coming on, mate.
Really.
Appreciate that. Hope to catch you another time, mate. Take care for now.
Cheers, Carl, mate. Have a good one, buddy.
James is saying, I'll be amazed if Weghorst stayed at Burnley. He's not a company type of player. Yeah. He didn't exactly kind of rip up trees at Man United, that's for sure.
No, he's a not.
I thought that was a strange one, him going to Man United. I don't know what the hell was going on there. Maybe Ten Hag was, new manager blues at Man United, getting hold of that player.
That was a weird one, that was, when it Weghorst to Man United. And it proved exactly what we thought, that it just no. Not for United.
He's not a Man United player anyway. Not that type of player, is he, either? He just doesn't offer nothing.
Oh, they scored against us in the Carling Cup. But that always happens when I slag somebody off. If I slag a player off, then they'll score against us. So I tend to stay quiet about players and how bad they are. What I've just said about Nketiah, Anna, so he's bagging an hat against us in the
You're asking up and there, can't you? Can't see it somehow. Yeah, we'll see. It'll be interesting.
Well, if it happens, I've got the worst luck on the planet.
Well, yeah, true. With this Chelsea one, I had to use 2 slides for this because it's just unbelievable how many players they've taken out. So let's just start off with the easier one, players in. So, Poch, now man in charge. So I think obviously he will definitely kind of make an impact at Chelsea. He is that kind of manager, isn't he? At the end of the day, he can get a tune out of a team. Obviously, I think going to PSG, I don't think was the right choice for him because that's just basically kind of a self-made team. You don't really have any input; it just kind of runs itself.
It's not Chelsea, how he does the job, is it?
No, I don't think so either.
He likes to mould it right from the beginning and, work it that way. I think that's how he likes to do it. But at the same point, I think they've, signed some good players.
Yeah, no, it's good to see they're actually doing some decent business. As you said, I think it's in Nkunku in that. It'd be interesting to see. He knows how to put it between the sticks. So that'd be an interesting one. But I think it's the players out more than anything else. I mean, we're going to virtually kind of 3 rows of this. They have just released or got rid of everyone.
That is madness. I mean, I've got to give it to them. I mean, being able to do that, because not a lot of players can, and not a lot of teams can do that. And the way they've just got rid of that much, that many players, it's amazing, really. It's absolutely amazing. Got to give it to them for that.
Well, go on to the next page. I mean, we're going to there. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, James just mentioned it here. Aubameyang has just joined Marseille. Great move for both him and Chelsea.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a strange, again, going from leaving Arsenal and then kind of joining Chelsea.
Yeah. I will say, though, that I think if Arteta was a better manager, he could have actually got something out of Aubameyang.
Yeah, but this is the problem, isn't it? I think it comes down to, going back onto the company kind of Arteta kind of discussion. When you look at Arteta, it's about him, isn't it? The company is about the football and the team.
Exactly.
Arteta is about himself. When you look at Guendouzi, didn't fit the mould. Out you go. Yeah.
Don't do as he's told.
Do what he does. Yeah.
Don't do as he's told. But then again, at the same point, if it was Brian Clough, he'd probably be the same way, but he would probably sort of bring the player around in the way that he used to. And, I mean, because at the end of the day, he took a load of nobodies and sort of turned them into European champions. So, I mean, that's like proper management. It's all right getting players that fit if they'll do as they're told, but you've got to be able to manage players that, are a little bit difficult as well.
100%. I mean, man management, isn't it? That's one thing you can say about Brian Clough. He was definitely man management. I mean, obviously James has added on to this one here. Obviously, the Lukaku news, though. What the hell does he want? Yeah, interesting one. What do you think about that one, Yeti? Lukaku.
I mean, Lukaku is
PSG may want to go for him in this, and obviously there's a Saudi club, Al Hilal, apparently.
Is a weird one for me because at one point he looked like he could possibly be a world beater, and he's never quite met that because I kind of think he's a bit lazy at times, to be quite honest with you. I think he's a unit. I think he's got everything it takes to do it, but I just don't think he has that mentality to actually make it work.
I suppose it also comes down to, again, the hype in it. The player having too much hype on himself, thinking that he's better than what he is.
100%. But he's got everything. He's got power. He's got pace. He can win the ball in the air. He's got everything you want from a striker. But the fact of the matter is he just doesn't. For me, he just doesn't do enough. He should be one of the greats, in my opinion.
No, it's true. He should. Yeah, he's got it all in the making, hasn't he? As you said. I mean, James added on here. Milan's ultras have put a statement of anger and frustration towards Lukaku this week. Yeah, I think he's. I put it out to the chat, and as well as you, Yeti, when you think about this Saudi business that's going on at the moment, when you think if you think a club is interested in you, surely your head's going to be turned towards that. And because it doesn't matter what club you're with at the moment, that big money is definitely going to sway your head. It's got to, hasn't it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, a footballer's career can be over in the next game. So if there's going to be big money thrown about and you're going to get on a long contract with big money, then a lot of players are going to take it. It's not like what it used to be with the loyalty.
No, it's true. No, it's very true. I mean, Staves had it in here. Arteta did get something out of Alba when he won the FA Cup. He kept breaking the non-negotiables.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with what you're saying. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know the full 100% story of it. I've only seen like I'm not an Arsenal fan, obviously, but I've only seen like the Amazon documentary and all this, that, and the other, and I just find it weird how they made every opportunity to make him look bad. Is that to try and prove to people that he was the issue and not the other way around? I don't know. That's how it came across to me.
Yeah, I think you're possibly right there because at the end of the day, isn't it? If you kind of turn on the manager and that, and on your own kind of documentary, it doesn't exactly bode well, does it? At the end of the day,
no,
so, yeah,
exactly. And he made a point in the documentary of like showing, oh well, he's turned down this and he's turned down this and he's turned down that. And it's like, well, what are you doing that in the documentary for? Are you trying to prove yourself right or something? Because people was already on your side. You didn't have to do that, but you felt the need to do that.
True.
And to me, when people do things like that, it's like they're trying to convince people that they made the right decision instead of thinking that they have made the right decision.
Yeah,
that's just my take on it.
No, I think you're right what you're saying there. It's. I mean, we know the old saying, isn't it? No one's bigger than the club, but something like that. I suppose in certain respects, can leave a bit of a bitter taste in the mouth.
Yeah, and he kept playing him in the wrong position as well.
Yeah.
That's going to annoy a player, surely, and make him look bad.
Definitely. Most definitely. I mean, you wait until you come to West Ham. That we do that quite often. Put a player in the wrong place and get nothing out of them.
Yeah, exactly. That's bad management, in my opinion. But
yeah, definitely agree. I mean, James has added on there. Lukaku hasn't been the same since his first spell at Inter, and his best spell in the Premier League was with Everton and West Brom. Definitely, because he was given the opportunity to shine, wasn't he? At the end of the day, that's when he was at his best, really. And Staves said in there, he was a club captain and was always late for training. Yeah, you can't be having that. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're the
Yeah.
captain of that, you're there to set the example. And
I agree with you on that, but the fact of the matter is you only get that from Arteta. That's what Arteta says. That don't make it 100%, does it? You know,
true.
you
I
can't
suppose there is that
always
to
just
it.
take one word from it and that's it. At the end of the day, he's gone now, so it don't matter. But you know, it just that's Arteta's view from it. It's not everybody else's.
Yeah, I think for both clubs, it's probably good stuff done. I think they actually moved on. Obviously, their targets for Chelsea, this ongoing one again, Casado's name popping up yet again. Anywhere between 100. Well, if you look at it, was 70 million at the time. I think it's now they want 100 million for the player.
Yeah, they're not offering enough, are they?
But is he worth that?
That one's going down to deadline day, mate. I mean, a lot of the time I've seen Moises Caicedo, he's on another planet. So yeah, I would say he's probably worth more 100 million than Declan Rice is, to be fair. But then again, you've seen Declan Rice a hell of a lot more than me, so I just think the fact that he can drop into right back,
player.
Yeah,
no, it's true. Yeah, I mean, he does offer something different. I mean, you can see why there's obviously I know Arsenal's also kind of in the background waiting to see what goes on with the actual deal itself.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one. Like, obviously this other player, Vlahovic, Juventus.
Never heard of him, to be honest. Oh, Dusan Vlahovic. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Everyone wanted him, didn't they, at one point?
Yeah. Well, believe it or not, I saw something the other day in that that we're even considering putting a little cheeky bid for him as well. If we that's a signing for us, then that'd be good business. We definitely need that, especially if Antonio's going to move on to the Saudi League as well, because that's one thing we're a bit lightweight on at the moment is up top. See, another, these other names kind of flying through, Lavia and Dembele. How many times have we heard these two mentioned, especially Lavia?
What about Harry Maguire? What do you think of that?
Well, he's been stripped to the captaincy, isn't he? And I
suppose you guys after him.
Yes, we are. I think the only kind of stumbling block is obviously wages. That's going to be the thing. Will he want to come to us? That's the other kind of thing you've got to put into perspective. Man United to West Ham. I know it's got United in it, but other than that, that's all where it stands. But by all accounts, I think he's asking Man U to pay off his contract, and then he will walk away. But are they willing to do that? It'll be interesting. But there's also, I think Spurs are also looking at that. So maybe this perspective of playing, Spurs, West Ham, it's that stigma, isn't it? At the end of the day, well, it's like if you look at it, saying you going to Forest, where would he go? Spurs, Forest, West Ham. Spurs is probably going to
want him, mate. I want him. I want him, mate. To be honest,
we need him for cover more than anything else. I mean, Stapes was put on the bench for the Spurs match because he was late for a team meeting, and Sky News broke that story. Yeah, it's true. I mean, Aubameyang's, as you said, we don't know
and Sky Sports is very dependable, isn't
it? Well, just like the documentary, innit? We're only seeing it from what we see on the documentary.
This is the thing.
There's no doubt.
Yeah, you don't know the full story, and I suppose at some point Aubameyang's going to do like an autobiography, and he's going to have his side of the story, and Arteta's going to have his side of the story. None of it matters now because it's all done. It's all done and dusted. So, but you just when you're a critical thinker, you think for yourself. You think for yourself, and you can see when something ain't right and something is. So you have to do it by the way you think.
Yeah, it's true. I think Lukaku would be brilliant for West Ham. Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's just that kind of different surroundings, isn't it? Sometimes it suits a player to have different surroundings to can actually kind of make a break for it. But would he want to stay in the Premier League? That's the thing.
I wouldn't. I'll be honest. I wouldn't want Lukaku for West Ham because he just hasn't got that work ethic that West Ham have.
Well, I suppose in
Not
that
for
respect,
me
you could
anyway.
say it's going to be like for like, isn't it?
You know,
He'll be like another Antonio for us. So yeah,
whereas
maybe not.
Yeah,
but,
Antonio
think,
at the start was amazing for you guys, though, wasn't he? At the start, he was awesome for you guys, and then all of a sudden just dropped.
Well, you think, apart from, well, he actually has got in goal as well. Thinking that, but other than that, yeah, we can't knock what Antonio's done. It's just the fact of obviously age is kind of catching up. We know he keeps fit as best as he can do, but
yeah.
I mean, I suppose Lukaku's in the same mould as him, so yeah, it should be interesting. Obviously, outgoings for Chelsea.
One of the biggest problems for Antonio is his size, because in the Premier League, when you're going up against somebody and you're just knocking, he's so big, he's such a unit. He just knocks people over, so you're just giving away fouls all the time because that's the way the game is now. Back in the day, Antonio would have been fine. He would have just knocked somebody out the way, took the ball, and scored the goal. But nowadays, because he's such a big unit, anybody he goes against is, face planting basically. It's just,
it's true.
Just how he is.
It's true. I mean, obviously, when you look at the outgoings for Chelsea, obviously we're linked with Conor Gallagher, but then again, he's linked with several other players. Interesting one, and Badu, possibly Leeds or Udinese, and obviously Hudson-Odoi. I'm glad it's going to be Fulham. I'd rather hit them than us, that's for sure.
Well, apparently we're trying to get him, but I don't know.
Are you really?
Apparently, we've had a few bets turned down. A few bids turned down.
But he's another one, isn't he? When you think about it, so much promise, but nothing come to fruition on it, really. He's another one.
Well, I mean, at one point, he was going to go on to sign for the big boys at one point, and then all of a sudden... I do like him, don't get me wrong. I do like him. I think he's a little bit selfish. He reminds me a little bit of Brennan Johnson, but the thing that Brennan Johnson's got on his side is his age. So you can probably sort of get that selfishness out of him, which we was starting to do towards the end of the season. So I think with Hudson-Odoi, I mean, how old is he? Is he like 27, 28 or something? I don't know how old he is.
Past his kind of...
can you actually get that part out of him where he's trying to be the Galactico type of player? That I don't know.
You've got to think as well, he's been out he hasn't played really, properly for the last couple of seasons. And that's going to be a lot of catching up if he's going to become a first-team regular with someone else. Not going to be easy.
What do you think of Conor Gallagher? Because I think he'd be quite good for West Ham, to be honest.
I like him. I think
I do.
He made the wrong... Excuse me. I think he made the wrong choice of going back to Chelsea. I think he offers... He's one of those. He's not exactly a fringe player, but at the same point, he doesn't. I suppose for Chelsea's kind of style, he just doesn't cut the mustard in that respects. But someone like us, he'll do well with. I think
he's 100%er, isn't he? He's one of them 100%er type midfielders, which is I quite like those kind of players, to be honest.
He don't muck around. That's for sure. I mean, as you know, we was looking at Harvey Barnes, but Newcastle obviously have got that done deal with him. So he would have been another one. Would have been good for us. Crystal Palace.
I'm amazed how long you've kept Jared Bowen, to be honest.
Well, I think we're looking to tie him down now. So
I would.
There'll be some talks going on with him.
Yeah, he's a good player. He's a good player.
He is good. It's one you don't exactly lose, do you, at the end of the day?
Nah.
Palace, well, not much going on. Not much going on there at all, kind of thing. The interesting
I take it we're last on this list.
No. You're fortunate enough. It's in alphabetical order. We're all right. Well, the interesting one is obviously Zaha.
Yeah.
Well, he's a free agent now.
Trying to get in. Someone's got to come in for Zaha, surely.
Must do.
I'd take him.
I would. I mean, he's definitely got it there. We know he can score a goal. We know he's still got the fitness. He's still got the speed. But it's. I don't know why it's not. Is it the player? Is he too troublesome? We know he's good at going down. So it could be that.
Well, he's very good at going down. But half the Arsenal squad is as well. So I mean, you can't really not that, can you? I'm not being horrible, but I'm just saying that in the first game of the season, I'm sure there'll be one of them go down at some point, and it won't be a penalty. But
like I said, I'm sure they teach it in training. I'm definitely sure of that. They
I agree, 100%. I agree, 100%. They must do. They must do. Although they don't teach them very well because some of them are terrible at it. Salah is absolute. He's masterclass at going down and getting penalties. Absolute masterclass. He's just unbelievable.
I mean, James is coming. I think Zaha will end up in the Saudi league if he wasn't to. Well, he's not renewed his contract, has he? He's now actually is a free agent.
No, he's a free agent now.
Which was quite strange. You thought Palace would have definitely kept him on, considering he's been their talisman for I don't know how many seasons.
The thing is, I suppose you've got to look at the fact as well that if someone like Wilfried Zaha is a free agent and there's no interest whatsoever, there's got to be some kind of thing there, like wages or something like that. There's got to be something that's stopping people sort of going for him.
See, nobody ever seems to go in for him. I think he's obviously seeing what he did before. When you think he went to Man United, it was too big of a club for him. So is that what's kind of making people cautious? Like I said, it could be the player. Usually you find
could be.
It's something to do with that, possibly. We'll see. James.
I think he'd do bits for Forest, to be honest. I think he'd be amazing for Forest, but there's obviously got to be some reason why we've not even sort of looked at that. So I don't know.
I mean, as James said here, Roy Hodgson staying on at Palace wasn't surprised at all. No, but then you've got to question that, though, James. Does it mean that? Well, if it's not broke, don't if it's not don't need to fix it. Whatever the saying is, gone out of my head. But when you look at something like Roy Hodgson, is it the case of what you're going to get?
Don't fix it.
That's the one. That's the two. Yeah, it's a case of comfortability. The only thing I'm worried about, for his age, not being funny, they can just get the wheelchair in that and put him by the side of the dugout. You don't have to move far in that because. How much more he's going to give him, isn't he, really? But yeah,
he won't be doing no slides down the line anyway if he beats Arsenal at the Emirates. Let's put it that way. I like him. I like Roy Hodgson. I
like him as well.
I think he fits Palace, and they all respect him. So I think they'll be doing all right. It does about Zaha. I mean, he's a good player. He's a talent. He can win your free kicks anywhere. He can win your penalties and all this, that, and the other. He can take people on. He's an absolute nightmare of a player. So why is nobody interested in him? It says a hell of a lot.
There's got to be something else. As you said, there's got to be something else in the background.
It's got to be attitude.
I'd say so. Another one where I'm bigger than the club kind of thing.
Well, at one point, he was supposed to be going to Arsenal, but I don't think he's going to Arsenal with Arteta because if he has that kind of attitude, there's no way. I don't think Arsenal need him anyway. They've got plenty of good players on that side.
No, they've already sorted that side, haven't they? I mean, as James is saying, I think it's also the fact that Palace don't want to take another gamble like what they do with Patrick Vieira. Yeah, it goes back to that thing again, isn't it? Certain players can make it as managers, and obviously some are not. I mean, obviously Chelsea, Even you, James, at Everton, Frank Lampard Jr.
Yeah.
Great player, but it's one of those, if you can't kind of cross the line and adapt as being a manager, you need that little bit more kind of still in your blood kind of thing.
I think Vieira needed to maybe go to a championship club or something like that first, instead of
because when you think he was in the American League, wasn't he? Or one of the American teams. What was in there? It was like a City kind of franchise, wasn't it?
See, a lot of these players make big mistakes by going to. I mean, to me, like I think it was Tony Adams, wasn't it? I mean, he went and started managing Wickham, I think it was. And I can't remember if he's still, I don't know if he's still there or whatever like that. But the fact of the matter is, I think as a manager, you should start right at the bottom, show what you're about, learn the game, and then go up to the Premier League. You should never be stuck in a Premier League management position straight away. Like Solskjaer. Solskjaer never had the ability to manage Man United. He was just, he was a Norwegian team, and a low Norwegian team, and all that kind of stuff. And you should like work from the bottom and then work your way up. That's just my opinion. That's what I think.
Learn the trade, isn't it?
And I think they'd be a lot more successful if they did.
Definitely. As I said, it's all about learning the trade, isn't it? Doesn't matter you as a player is player. But being a manager, you need to learn a bit. There's a few more ethics that you need to learn.
Exactly. And I think you should do that.
Yeah, I mean, James, he's Strasbourg now in France, so that's probably going to be.
Oh yeah, he is, isn't he? Yeah, I remember that now.
So that's more his level. So it goes back to what we were saying. Yeah, you go to a lower club, learn your trade, develop, come in.
Exactly.
But I think
100%.
That's where, going back on company, there's a difference, because you can just tell that he is going to be. He will. There's no doubt about it.
You can see it, can't you? You can see it. He's going to. You know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen, don't you? He's going to be when company starts like doing his thing. Yeah, he's going to become the prodigal son to the Man City thing instead of Arteta. That's what I can see happening. Because, sorry, Arsenal fans, I'm not being funny, but I just don't think he can handle that job, and I think it'll be shown next season. I think if you had another manager, I think you could easily, well, not easily, but you could have a massive chance of winning the league with the players you've got.
Definitely. I agree on that.
That's just my opinion. I'm not, trying to ruffle any feathers, although, if I do, then whatever.
So here's James's team, Everton. So at the moment, just one player in so far, by the looks of it. Ashley Young on a free. So interesting when you look at their new grounds. Was it Brookstock? I think it's got. It's coming along. It looks an impressive stadium. It does look an impressive stadium, and someone did actually put the comment: "We just need the players now to fit in it." And this is the thing.
See, I like Everton.
What do you think about Deitch? Do you like him as a manager, Yeti?
Yes, I do like Deitch. I mean, at the end of the day, right, and I'll say this, I mean, nobody else knows this apart from my family and my friends. I started out as an Everton fan because back in the day when I was young, all that was on the TV was like match of the day, and then you had the FA Cups and FA Cup finals, and it was always Everton against Liverpool. And it was always like sectioned as Everton are the underdogs, and I've always loved the underdog thing. So I've always been an Everton fan in that respect. It was the first time I went to a Forest match that, how it is. The first time you go to a Forest match and you just like, this is my home. This is where I belong. But I still love Everton. Yeah. I've still got love for Everton. So glad they stayed up because I didn't want them going down.
Again, I think it's again getting the right manager at the time. James, we're about to sign Dan Juma from Villarreal on loan as well. I've heard.
That's a good one. Yeah,
that'd be a good signing. That would be a good signing.
That's a good one because Tottenham didn't use him right, so I think Dyche will 100% use him right.
No. And obviously, we've seen some faces leave.
A lot of faces.
Tom Davies.
Yeah.
I mean, Tom Davies, I feel like, again, I don't think he, the last couple of seasons was used much, was he, really?
Did Everton have Anthony Elanga? I never knew that.
Well, they wanted to. Apparently, it was a possible target. There was, so the rumours to be said, they were looking to go for him.
Should never have got rid of Wilfred Gnonto. Yeah,
but I think he's going to stay at Leeds by the looks of it. I think he's staying at Leeds.
He's a good one. He's good, and he is. He's got a lot of promise, that guy has. A lot of promise.
I mean, obviously, the old boy, Begovic, I'm surprised he's released. I mean, I suppose in certain respects, James, you must be happy that Pickford obviously is possibly going to be staying there now as Man United's got Onana. So you must be happy with that as well. And
Yerry Mina, quite like him as well.
When I saw this, as James has said there, I'm sad that Yerry Mina's left. I think he was one of the best defenders, but he's too injury prone in the end.
I agree with you. I like Yerry Mina. I thought he was good.
He fitted in well, didn't he? He was that kind of their type of player. So I was quite surprised to see him go. But
I just read that wrong. I said I read the wrong thing. I thought you said player at Anthony Elanga. That's what I said. I didn't realise you had it.
Yeah, no, I forgot to actually underline that part, so it's my bad.
Possible targets, isn't it? My bad.
Yes, yeah.
We've already got him, mate. So
yes,
we lost out on that one.
And then obviously Andros Townsend, but he's been around, I don't know how long, but again, another one, I think he just got injuries.
They're looking at a lot of players.
Yeah, and
possible targets are the players that we're after, it looks of it.
Yeah, so I suppose like for like, isn't it, in that respects?
Yeah. Well, we was after Iheanacho, but I ain't heard anything since. So I don't know what's going on there.
No. We need 2 strikers now that Ellis Sims has gone, and we can't rely on Calvert-Lewin staying fit. Yeah.
I like Ellis Sims.
When he is fit, Ellis Sims is a good player. I like him as well. He's got a bit of pace about him, but obviously Calvert-Lewin. You see, a player comes to a certain club, gets injured, and that's then done, really.
Calvert-Lewin's a good player, but them injuries are a big time thing that you have to take into account.
Yeah, just kind of keeping him fit. I mean, obviously the outgoings, we're linked with both of these. I mean, I was quite surprised to see us interested in Iwobi, but I think Moyes likes him. So that's an interesting one in that respects.
I thought he was good for Everton last season, actually. I thought he looked a hell of a lot different.
He was used a bit, wasn't he? And he was effective in the last games I saw.
It was just, to me, it was the final pass or the final thought of the pass.
Yeah.
Kind of let him down, in my opinion. And Ashley Young, like you say, I'd agree with that. I think that's a good one.
Especially Young, it's the type of son I expect us to make. Do a job when called upon. Yeah, again, there's another player with bags of experience. Bags of experience behind him, so he'll do well in that respect. It's obviously interesting to see if you're going to do any more business, but I suppose it's the ownership that's obviously kind of holding you back as well, though, James, isn't it? I mean, obviously, we're interested in Onana, but I don't think the player wants to come to us, considering we try to sign him first of all. We'll see what's going to happen there. And have you still got Daka, James? Is he still with you, or has he kind of moved on? Or is it just fitness again? So let's move on to the next club, Fulham. Well, I don't think it's a good time to be a Fulham player at the moment with what's going on. I mean, I'll start with the outgoings. Obviously, Mitrovic definitely looking to want out. he wants to go into the Saudi League by the looks of it. Al Hilal is obviously interested. That's kind of grabbed his attention. I'm just going to James's comment 100%. We still need change on the board. The fans in Tully haven't calmed down. Yeah, I think it's going to be a while yet. I think you need, with the new ground you're getting as well, you need to see something to turn that around as well. Yeah, Mitchell wants that, and Marco Silva's been linked to the Saudi League too. Yeah, I mean, that Marco Silva one, when you look at them, apparently 2-year deal, £40 million over 2 years, £20 million a season.
Well, apparently he's turned it down. I read today that apparently he's turned it down. He wants to talk to the ownership now about him staying on, which I think is absolutely awesome. Good lad sort of thing. Well, not because he's a good manager, so he probably should have left and gave him a crap manager so that we could beat him every game.
Well, the interesting one with Silva, it's one of those. He kind of comes in, does a job, and then all of a sudden then bottoms out, doesn't he? But with Fulham, he's actually kind of kept on an even kill with this club. But yeah, it's quite interesting you saying that, because I know apparently Silva's agents flew in yesterday to speak with Saudi officials, so he's turned it down.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe not then. Maybe not. I don't know. I mean, you only got to go from like the news that you see on sort of Twitter and stuff. I mean, it's like I do things about Forest news and stuff like that, but it's just all links. So, might as well just open a deodorant factory, to be honest.
Yeah. I think, as you said, until we actually see it, but this Saudi business is obviously kind of definitely turning people's heads. I mean,
oh yeah, I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
Sky ate it.
Steven Gerrard.
Sky ate it.
Steven Gerrard. No, I'm not interested in Steven Gerrard. And then before you know it, he then goes and signs for him. So what's the incentive?
That comment he gave to the team was hilarious. I'm sorry, but listening to a Scouser trying to speak that was just hilarious. I'm not having a go at him or anything like that. Fair play to him for trying to do it, but it did sound like he was swearing at everybody to me. But that's just how it sounded to me.
It's true. Just as bad as watching the. Yeah. Yes, that's true. It's like when you listen to David Moyes when it's at Seville and even Gary Neville trying to do the language. Yeah, give it up.
It's hilarious. It really is. Fair play to him for trying to learn it, but
yeah, cool.
It's just funny.
I mean, when you look at the players out at Fulham, there's not much really kind of stands out.
Joe Bryan, I'd say. I do like Joe Bryan. I think he's another 100%er. He's gone to Millwall, which doesn't shock me. He's gone to Millwall because Millwall are a 100% team.
Don't write too much
at all. And the rest released.
And obviously, then
Cabano.
If you look at the
skins Cabano, I think he's good as well.
Yeah, so some interesting ones that actually been released there, but I suppose they've got to free up some money somehow, especially as they've bought no one at the moment.
I'll tell you what, though, right? You know what I don't understand, right? Because one time it used to be called tapping up, and I've said this a few times, and I was looking on Twitter, and it keeps saying that players are agreeing with Saudi Arabian teams. They're agreeing a contract with Saudi Arabian teams, but no bid's been accepted from the club. That used to be called tapping up.
Yeah. Well,
so how is that allowed?
You could definitely say that a certain player that joined a team in North London, was he not tapped up in January when the season was still going?
Oh yeah, I think it always does happen, but to actually put it right out there that always agreed a contract, but the club's not accepted a bid yet, it's like that's
it's a bit naughty, that, isn't it? That's a bit naughty.
100%.
James saying Shane Duffy going wasn't a shock. Always like Duffy though. Yeah, Yeah, I mean, obviously, going to Norwich, it'd probably suit him down to the ground. I think it'd be a good, good signing for them. But look at Fulham's targets, Fred.
Yeah, Fred. Yeah, I can see that.
And obviously,
again.
Always kind of mentioned, and then Morata.
Everywhere, isn't
he? Yeah.
Morata.
And as we just said, and obviously outgoing Mitrovic. Yeah, well, like I said, I mean, obviously Palina. We put in.
Yeah, he's good. Yeah, I like him. He'd be a good replacement for Rice, I think. To be honest,
definitely. I think it's just a case of will we go in with another bid, or as you mentioned earlier, he is one of those. It's going to probably be the end of the season kind of job, trying to tap up at the last minute if we can get a chance to.
Me personally, mate, I would pay whatever it takes because I think he really impressed me last season.
Definitely, I agree on that. I mean, I like him, and if it goes back to the same old thing. You're definitely intent on a player, pay the money.
Yeah,
it shows the intent of the club. You appease the fans because obviously it's like great. The club's doing what we want them to do, actually buying someone that we actually want.
We've got to replace Rice. I mean, so just do it, or even Calvin Phillips.
Yeah, well, that was going to be part of the so-called sweetener, wasn't it? When City was going to go for him, we were chucking Phillips, but Phillips, strangely enough, said he wants to kind of prove his worth at City.
He ain't going to do
Bad choice. Nah, he's going to. He'll be lucky to be a bit part player this season, I do believe.
Take care, Mama Flossie.
Yeah, take care, Mama Flossie. Thanks for coming on. Thanks very much. Thanks for your time. Liverpool have bought us well, especially in the key areas they were lacking last season. Yeah, I agree on that. Yeah.
Liverpool have made some awesome signings. That's Szoboszlai and McAllister. That is major. And then I think they're judging on having Trent Arnold in the midfield as well.
Yeah,
that is a nice midfield. That is.
Probably suit Trent down to the ground because when you look at in defence, for me, there's just too much of a mistake in him in defence. So moving him to midfield and that, damage limitation, plus the fact
he's never a defender, was he? He's never a defender.
Really,
never.
Not really. James said, amazed that Henderson is going to Saudi Arabia, though. Yeah, we know it's obviously a topical debate. Obviously, he's LGBTQ plus.
I saw that. They're not happy with him, are they? They're not happy with him. You know what? They're not happy with anything. At the end of the day, I mean, they wanted like acceptance and all this, that, and the other. They got acceptance. Now they just want more, and more. I mean, it's just ridiculous at the end of the day. Nobody cares what you do as long as you do it in your own bedroom.
Yeah, exactly. And not being funny, are they going to pay Henderson wages? As we mentioned earlier, players only in it for a short period of time. So, why not? And as you said,
yeah.
Money is the ultimate key thing at the end of the day. As James is saying, I know it's the case of reuniting with Gerrard, but I thought he'd rather stay at Liverpool and his career at Sunderland. Yeah, I mean, as we just said there, James, I think it's. I mean, when you look at when we come on to Wolves, Ruben Neves, he said he joined them for the benefit of his family and these generations of family, and maybe this is what Henderson's doing exactly the same. Not being
just
funny.
Say that I think if Sunderland had come up, then maybe he might have ended his season with Sunderland. Just a thought. Then maybe he might have done that, but I don't think they have that. I think more than else,
it'd be the wages, wouldn't it? Would they be able to kind of handle the wages? That's your problem with that one.
I don't think players have that kind of sentimentality anymore. They used to have, but I don't think they have it anymore. I mean, it's all about the money. At the end of the day, like I say, same with most players. your career could be over in the next game at the end of the day. So, you know, when you get to his age or whatever, you've got to take what's coming and what's on offer.
Yeah, you're only in it for a short period of time, aren't you? You know, I mean, obviously, what you got, his question mark will be more than anything else. Does it affect his England career? You know, but if he does kind of actually go here now, is that at the end of him playing for England?
Possibly, but I mean, I think Saudi Arabia is going to be a big thing, and that's why I think Sky's worrying about it, because it's all right. You see the people that they're taking now. If that takes off, look at who they're going to be taking next.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
Money seems to be no object.
No, at the moment that's the case, isn't it? And I think when you look at like, you know, the J League and obviously, like, you know, the Chinese League, and then when you look at even the American leagues, the thing along with the Saudi is that they're buying the right players. They're not kind of buying has-beens, are they? They're actually kind of buying players that are actually in the game at the moment, really. You know, so there's a complete difference in the style of, and these additional players will lift these kind of type of teams. And as you said, if they get the breakthrough with TV rights, I think, was it Apple? I think one of them is kind of, they've signed up something with one of the TV kind of companies. Yeah, they get the airtime.
So imagine when they're coming in and taking the Haalands and the De Bruynes and the Grealishes and all this, that, and the other, because it could come.
True.
It could come at some point. Let me just put the light on.
No worries, mate. No, funny you said that, because on TalkSport today, they actually kind of did say that about Haaland. You know, if someone came in with his £500 million, would he kind of turn and say, "Well, no, I'd rather stay at City because I want to."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's one of those.
That would be interesting. But if they start, like, say for instance, that have all of a sudden come in and gone, okay, Arsenal, you want Bryce, 105 million, we'll give you 110, West Ham.
Yeah,
you'd have took it, wouldn't you?
And that's the thing, isn't
You'd be crazy not to.
It's just a little bit extra. Just a little bit extra. We could change things around. I mean, when you look at, like, you know, the players out, I mean, we could see there, like Firmino going to the Saudi League. That was a no-brainer. I would have loved to have had him, Firmino, at West Ham. You know, he's still a class player. Still a class player.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, poor old Oxlade-Chamberlain, it just didn't happen for him. Liverpool did it. That's for sure. And Carvalho's been loaned out to Leipzig.
Never rated Oxlade-Chamberlain, to be honest.
Yeah, I suppose it was who he was with, wasn't it, at the time? It was an Arsenal player, as far as at the time Arsenal actually were winning things, so I can understand why Liverpool bought him at the time. But
he's a jack of all trades and master of none.
That's true. Very true.
That's the way I look at him.
Yeah, a couple of youngsters been loaned out as well, so they're actually kind of keeping their kind of youth program moving on. So that should be good for them for future years to come. Possible targets. Let's see now. Amrabat, that's not a bad player. I like him. And obviously Lavia.
Really
if it's not going to be Arsenal, if it's not going to be Chelsea, I could see him kind of fitting in at Liverpool.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Fabinho,
I think he's the key to the rest of it, to be honest.
Yeah.
You only got to look at the fact that everybody's after the same players, so it says a lot about all the players, doesn't it? Really, they're all really after the same type of players. So I think it's just going to be a midfield game.
Yeah, this one here, you know, we just said about this. I mean, when you look at it, maybe
he's not a right back. He's got to go into midfield. To me, Klopp putting Alexander-Arnold from right back into midfield is like Alex Ferguson buying Roy Keane off us, who we had him as a striker, and making him the best midfielder on the planet.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? Well, it's the same sort of thing for me.
Well, yeah. Well, the most recent one, if you look, it was last season. John Stones with Pep, Man City.
Yeah, another one. Yeah.
Went into midfield, and suddenly he's playing like Brazilian football the last couple of games, where he was passing the ball around.
Yeah, leaps and bounds.
So that should be a good move for Alexander-Arnold. So let's look at the next club, Luton Town. So she knew after so many years out in the wilderness, it's been a great turnaround for these guys to come into it.
Yeah, 100%.
By all accounts, they can't fulfil, by looks, the first game of the season. The ground's not going to be ready in time, so they're going to have to play elsewhere. But,
playing from someone's backyard, aren't they?
Well, you go, you literally kind of go past. You go up these steps, and you'll see the backyards either side of you as you're going through. I'm sure the mouse is going to make a fortune in selling soft drinks, beers, cups of tea, and coffees.
They've been. I tell you what, they've been amazing though. In the last few seasons of the Championship, they have been absolutely amazing. And then they lost Nathan Jones to Southampton, and they still carried on doing it. And they are a really good team, and they play you hard as well, because we had a few games with them where they played us really hard. So I don't think there'll be any easy shakes, to be quite honest with you. I think they will be a really good side in the Premier League. They've just got to get that ground sorted out and get it worked in that respect. But I love Luton anyway, because I used to play them on Football Manager, and I just love the team, to be honest.
Yeah, I've been to Kenilworth Road. I mean, it is an ancient ground. It does need a lot of work doing to it, kind of thing. I think their attendance, I think it's like just over 11, just under 11,000. So it's definitely. Well, there are talks of getting a new ground, aren't they? That's going to be in the next couple of years. So that should be interesting to see. But to get it up to scratch what it is now, I watched a video the other day showing you the press area above the so-called the suites, where they're going to have all the work they've got to do. So yeah, it'd be good, like as James Dunlop's put here. Seeing Luton in the Premier League will look weird, but in a good way. Yeah, I agree.
100%.
Considering
if
what
you look back in the day, which teams was in the top leagues,
it was always them.
They was one of them.
Yeah, it was always there.
So it's
been a long time, but it's been worth it to get where they are now. I mean, obviously, when you look at the players they've brought in, it's probably what they're. When you think they've got £100 million from getting promoted, getting the players
I like
that they
Chong.
have, probably.
I do like Chong. I think Chong is a decent signing for him, to be honest. Ogben, I used to have him in Football Manager. He was quality for me with Luton, so I will give him that one. The Nakamba, not sure about, because I've used Barnett in Football Manager and he was absolutely shit. But then again, that might have been my fault. So I'm not going to go on that one.
But it could be a good fit for him. It would be one of those, isn't it? And obviously, you can see they signed Jack Walton from Barnsley and loaded him straight out to Dundee. So there's from one end of the world to the other. So that's quite an interesting movement for him. And then, of course, they're talking about the players out. Harry Isted going to Charlton. I mean, mostly these are done on a free, so it's obviously freed up the wage bill. Blimey. When I saw this name, I thought, blimey, is he still playing? Henry Lansbury. I
know, yeah. Yeah, we had him. I never rated him. All Forest fans, wet their pants over Emery Lansbury. I didn't like him. I did not take to him at all. I just thought he was a fancy Dan type of player, and I just
I agree on that.
Didn't like him at all.
I do agree on that. And obviously, possible targets. Keeper wise, Begovic, could be a good fit there, especially as cover and coaching experience.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we look at Mark McGuinness, Cardiff, and Lee Nichols. They're good little players. They offer something.
Yeah,
it'd be interesting. And the other one that looks like it could be going out to Southampton is James Bree for 800,000. So,
well, I mean, another possible target is Morales from Rangers.
Yeah, Rangers. Yeah, so yeah,
bad shout either. I like him as well. I think he's a decent player.
That'd be, I suppose, that would be their kind of token signing if they get hold of him.
Yeah.
For a club like Luton at the moment, it probably would be that. So let's move on to the next one. So, Man City.
Oh dear. Well, we seem to do all right with them. I mean, we got smashed in the first game at their place, but then somehow managed to 1-1, and I still have no idea how we managed to 1-1, mate. They was peppering our goal. They was hitting our goal like crazy. How the hell we got a 1-1 out of that? It's just beyond me, and they probably feel the same. But they've got a problem with us now because of that.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm not looking forward to our next game.
Even
Alvin Garland said it after they won the Champions League, because all the time through the game we were singing Champions of Europe, you'll never sing that. So basically, as soon as they won it, Haaland made a point, which I absolutely loved. I love the banter when players do that. And he turned around and said, "Are you watching now, Forest?" and all this, that, and the other. And I thought that was brilliant. So there's definitely a needle there.
Lisa, don't forget.
A needle there.
Don't forget. I mean, just going to James's comment here saying about Morales, Noah's made an offer. Yeah, another one.
Yeah,
he's in the same kind of frame as Zaha.
I think
he's one of those.
He's a bit of a. He can do stupid stuff and all of a sudden get sent off. So I can kind of understand that in a sense. I mean, I don't know about his attitude, but I know, like, watching a few like Rangers Celtic games, he's done some stuff that's just like, the hell are you done that for? A bit like Beckham when he played for England. And he just flicked his foot out to Simone. I mean, it's never a sending off. I don't care what anyone says. That's never a sending off, just flicking your boot up. I mean, to me, Beckham, if you're going to get sent off, just jump up and stick the nut on the guy. Then we can respect it, So I didn't get that, but yeah, I got totally off track there, but anyway.
As James is coming in, Kovacic is an interesting move. Not a starter, but again, good squad player to slot in when called upon.
Yeah, they can see something in Kovacic that I don't think. And to be fair, Chelsea wasn't that great, so you didn't really see a great deal of him. But if City sign somebody, you know that they're fit.
Well, that's what Pep does, though.
Sign people left, right, and centre. Yeah, if he wanted him, he
gets in players and slots them in for the right kind of type of games, doesn't he? And that's where the man
he's doing. Pep is doing what Liverpool failed to do. When Liverpool was on the top and they was doing really great, and they had all these young players pressing and stuff, but they didn't actually reinforce that, so they had other players coming in that could do it. Pep is doing exactly what Liverpool failed to do. He's rebuilding why he's still got it.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, it'll work for him, I think.
Well, yeah, I think Pep will get a treat out of him. Even if, like you said, we didn't see much of him at Chelsea, did we? We didn't see much of him at all. Maybe at City, he'll get more of an opportunity. And not being funny, someone like him will definitely keep Calvin Phillips out.
Yeah. And that's why I don't understand why Calvin Phillips is staying there, because it makes no sense. He might as well just go on loan to us, or go on loan to West Ham, or sign for West Ham or whatever. It just makes no sense, Calvin Phillips. I know I like Calvin Phillips, don't get me wrong, but I just don't think he fits into the. I think Rice made him look good in the England team. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't think he fits into that mold. I really don't. I think he needs to realise that, it's not going to work here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the one that kind of, and this is where it kind of shows you the difference when you look at City, is the fact of considering the players they've got there, they're not afraid to get rid of players as well. I mean, the one that really surprised me was Gundogan. Letting him go.
Mahrez as well.
Well, yeah, Myers as well now. Yeah, of course he's gone as well. Yeah, and Myers is going as well. Yeah, Al Heli, that's confirmed there. 30 million, not £30 as I
put. He obviously has a lot of faith in that young lad that he's got, and that's why he's getting rid of Mahrez. See, what I said at the start of the season, and Arsenal fans won't like this, but what I said at the start of the season is if Mahrez goes, maybe Pep will trigger the Saka clause. Because they haven't put that much money on Saka. I think it's 100 million, is it? Or 120 million or something. It wouldn't shock me. I don't know how long the clause goes on before you can trigger it. But when there's to me, they undervalued Saka when they just put that money and said this is what the clause is. I think it's undervalued. And I think if anybody could hit it, City could. And that would be really interesting if they all of a sudden steal Saka, because that is going to be that is going to be mental.
I think this is why, when you look at it, they've suddenly kind of tried to tie down the youngsters, haven't they? Arsenal, Saka, Martinelli. Jesus Christ, what's it at the back? The defender, Saliba, him as well.
Oh,
tied him down on long contracts, because they know that the likes of City or someone else is going to come in for them at some point. So I think doing that what they did. But yeah,
I don't think Saliba's as good as they think he is, to be honest.
Who's that?
I don't think Saliba's as good as they think he is.
I think for him, when you look at it, and I know Arsenal fans don't like hearing it again, but once he got injured,
shit.
Yeah, that's when it went off the ball. And as much as you say that they bottled it, one player, you know the old saying, one player doesn't make a team. Unfortunately for Arsenal, Saliba did. And it proved the point, because the back four was rattled. They'd been holding in. I mean, look at Ramsdale. He was stuck in two minds. Do I come out for the ball, but if I come out, I'm leaving my goal exposed.
Yeah.
Do I rely on, but I can't rely on my defence because they're too flaky. It was an interesting catch 22. And Joe said,
that's a fair point. So I suppose, I can sort of retract on that point of Saliba not being as good as I think he is, because, but for me, it goes down like this. The old team dropped the ball, not just Saliba. But I mean, I suppose if you've got like one player that sort of keeps it all cemented together, you can understand it in that respect.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think Oldham did that bad, to be honest. I don't rate the guy, but I don't think he did that bad, to be fair. I think if
at that point,
the whole
he was
point about Arsenal,
wasn't he?
But the thing is about Arsenal last season is it didn't fall down because of the defence. It fell down because they didn't get the goal straight away. Because if Arsenal score on you straight away, you're in for a bad time. You're in for a major bad time.
Yeah.
If you can stop that point and then start playing yourself, then you've got a chance. That's just the way I see it. But I think, and that is why I turn around and say about the plan A and plan B, because when they played us at our place, we just shut them down, and they had
That's
nothing.
True. No, very true.
So
very true. But no,
it's all opinions at the end of the day.
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is.
At the end of the day.
The interesting one, obviously, City going out was, it wasn't interesting. It's the fact of Benjamin Mendy obviously released by the club, gets acquitted, and didn't take long. Lyonnais now, he's now their player, 2-year deal.
Yeah.
So, he's going to, but probably going to be right for him. I don't think he could stay in England with that going over your head and that. I mean, obviously, one thing we didn't mention earlier, like with Arsenal, was Party with that player. What's going on there, kind of thing, because that's again
they
we
can't
can't
get
say.
Rid of Party.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? I mean, allegedly, we know obviously there's this accusation, and we know it's kind of centered around him. But
well, if he's done it, he should be behind bars at the end of the day. Same as Mendy. You shouldn't be able to just escape the country and go and play for somebody else. You should still face the charges. That's just my opinion. I don't care about it's same as I mean, you probably won't agree with this, but regardless. Same with your player, Zuma. Is it Zuma? Zuma. Yeah.
Zuma, yeah.
What he did with the cat, he should have been set on fire, in my opinion. But I mean, I'm a major cat lover and a major animal lover. In my opinion, he should have faced the consequences, but there's no consequences to when you hurt animals, which is absolutely disgusting. And I would never support that guy ever. Even if he signed for us, I won't support him.
He just kind of, if you look at it, literally got a rap on the knuckles, did a bit of community service and give some money away. But I mean, the fact that you think
he's an absolute unit. What's he picking on cats for? What the fuck is that guy's problem?
Yeah,
sorry for swearing. I don't know if you.
It's one of those, but no, because he does get your blood boiled kind of thing. Because at the end of the day, the cat's not done nothing wrong in that respect. It's a cat at the end of the day.
It's ridiculous.
They do what they do, So it's.
And you get so many people in YouTube chat saying, "Oh, well, it's only a cat. It's only a cat." I just look at that and say, "Well, it's only you, so I'll come and smash your teeth in then, shall I?"
That's the truth, isn't it?
Do you know what I mean?
It's a living, breathing thing at the end of the day.
Yeah,
so you look at it like that.
I can't get down with that.
I mean, actually, possible targets. Well, it seems to be near enough a done deal now. I mean, fun enough, like you're saying about tapping up and that. This Garvadal,
whatever his name is.
When you look at this, reported £90 million, it seems like it's virtually a done deal.
Yeah.
So,
I see on there as well.
For the player. And he's another big unit, isn't he? He's another unit.
Yeah, Rafinha as well.
Well, I was just about to say that's an interesting one. He's not exactly
if they get Vardio and they get Rafinha and they get Frankie de Jong, we might as well just all go. Okay, fair enough. See you later.
That was that question. That question we had we asked earlier on, kind of thinking that on Man City still a force. Well, yeah, basically.
Yeah. If they get them, yeah.
I mean, I've said it.
They are anyway. But,
Well, yeah, no, I agree. I was saying in a couple of streams beforehand, when you look at with City, I mean, yeah, they are the champions. They've won things, etc. But when you look at it, I mean, someone made the comment the other day. They won the league, and then it's like it's forgotten about.
Yeah.
Not being funny, when you're a club that's successful, you're only as successful as the last game. So for Pep, he's looking at this season now. So we've done that. We've celebrated it. We've won it. We've celebrated it. Right, now we do business this season now on what we're going to be getting.
I love the fact he's staying as well.
Well,
I love
this
the fact
is the other thing as well.
Yeah.
Considering like everyone thought that's it, he's going to be moving on. It's going to be interesting. But he said just them 3 players alone, if they can get hold of them, well, that definitely makes a statement. As James put, I don't think City will win the title by a country mile, but they are the team to beat. Well, they're the team I think everyone needs to emulate themselves on in that respects.
Well, to be quite honest, I mean, last season, Arsenal lost it. They didn't get taken out. They gave it away.
Yeah. Absolutely.
At the end of the day, if they'd have kept doing their thing as well as City did, Arsenal win the title.
Yeah,
100%. It was down to Arsenal bottling it at the end of the day.
Well, the three things they come up with, the three games, don't they? Is obviously, when you look at it, Southampton, Southampton, Liverpool, and us. Where they drew them 3 games.
Yeah.
Me personally, I think they were lucky to get away with 3 points from the 3 games. Liverpool should have scored at the end. Southampton exactly the same, and same with us. Just that Antonio had 50 pence in and it just went over the bar. Yeah,
I mean, it's like that game against you guys that we had.
Yeah.
How the hell you got back into that? I don't know. I mean, that was down to us not doing what we needed.
No, exactly. Weren't us.
But it's like I thought that was just we won, and that was it. And then, but that's it. If you sort of turn the switches off, and just think it's easy going in this league, you're going to get smacked. It's the way it goes.
And they found it out the hard way. And I think that in itself must have been a bit of a pill to swallow. Like you said, when you look at the stats, 93% of the season was them. Exactly. 8 points clear.
Yeah.
8 points clear. And if you do the maths, it was literally a 21-point turnaround from City to win the league.
But it was all their fault. It wasn't. Oh, if they'd have kept doing what they was doing, they'd won the league. It was them that dropped the ball. It wasn't City that took the ball. City just did what City did.
The obvious one was, and naturally, that's what makes them champions at the end of the day. But if you look at the Liverpool game, to actually go to Anfield, take a 2-goal lead, silence Anfield, that takes some doing in itself. But then, of course, as you said, they capitulated because of one player at that stage, and that was Xhaka. The one thing you don't do is poke the bear, and he did that. And that just kind of got Anfield.
That was crazy. That was mental, man. Watching that, he was like, what are you doing? You had him. You had him big time.
Completely in control of the game. And you just kind of throw it away like you did. It was...
Yeah. Well, as much as they say that wasn't the turning point, it 100% was. You don't... Anybody with a brain can see that turned. The all of a sudden, as soon as he did that, the crowd was with them, 100%.
Absolutely.
And as soon as the crowd was with them, it just changed the game completely. It was the most stupid thing you could ever do. To be fair,
James is agreeing with us, but the turning point was Xhaka on up the Anfield. Exactly. You don't poke the bear.
100%. It was crazy.
Don't poke the bear. But that's what
it was
Xhaka
crazy,
was good
but
at.
they'll still argue. That wasn't that didn't make any difference. It just went. I mean, it's like, I know a lot of Arsenal fans. I know a lot of Arsenal fans are absolute fucking pricks. And I know a lot of Arsenal fans that are actually, know what they're talking about. Jez, TJ Warren, Lee Gunner, all that kind of, and they say exactly the same thing, but the others obviously are deluded, so they don't see it like that. But the fact of the matter is that turned the game. There's no doubt about it, that turned the game. And it was pointless. You just push him in the back. If you're going to do something that makes a difference, nut him in the face. I mean, that would have been stupid as well, but, whatever. Yeah.
As James say, the one thing you cannot do at Anfield is rile up the fans.
Exactly. 100%. Absolutely. You can't do that. You cannot do that. With any team, really.
Well,
with any team. You can't rile up the fans.
When you look at Liverpool weren't exactly having the greatest of seasons, was they, last year? And really,
spurred them on, that did.
Well, if you look at it, I think that was really a turning point for Liverpool more than anything else. I think they started winning a couple of games after that.
Yeah, massive turnaround.
So,
massive turnaround. How do you doing, Henry? You all right,
doing well. I hope you're well.
I'm just going
and
mate. We're back in a sec.
I'm glad you listened to my messages earlier on and that. And like I said to you, don't kind of let it get you down, mate. You're bigger than that. You know that. We're all there for you at the end of the day. And guys, don't forget, if you can, if you haven't already, subscribe to Henry A. Baker's channel. Really good person. And obviously saying a big up James, and James is replying back saying, hi, Henry. So let's move on to the next team. Man United. Well, she players in. The interesting one was Johnny Evans going back. I don't know about you, but I didn't expect that happening. Okay, he comes in on a free. Is it a case of the old school said, like, you know, he'll do a job for us? You're welcome, mate. You're welcome. But yeah, Johnny Evans, what do you think about that one coming back in? Very interesting. Man was a good signing and a good fit for Ten Hag's system. Yeah, definitely. I think it's a good fit for the player as well. It's one of those, James, isn't it? You get too comfortable sometimes at a club and you need a bit of a change. And obviously, I think obviously Man United will definitely do that for Mount. So that should be an interesting one. And finally, yeah, I agree on that one. De Gea had to happen. Yeah, 100%. It goes back to, like I said, with Mount. You think 12 years he's been at the club. He's done tremendous for them, but sometimes you just get too comfortable and mistakes happen. And we saw that quite too often over the last 3-4 seasons. So him going made way for this man, Andre Onana. Took a while, but finally it's been crossed over the line now. 47.2 million. Yeah, I think style of play. I think he'll be a good addition for them. So it should be good. We're just saying about Onana, kind of like with De Gea. With De Gea going, as James has put here, De Gea going had to happen. Totally agree on that kind of comment. And we're saying, like, you know, Onana coming in will be a good fit for them. But United lack a proper number 9. They haven't had a proper striker for a while. Rashford is decent, but he's not the main man there. It's too predictable in my eyes. It's a case of the ball being played through, he runs on, and hopefully he'll score. You know, he did all right last season. Will he do exactly the same thing? Obviously, he just penned a new 5-year deal. So they see something in him. So we shall see. Good, Henry. Good to see you that. Just relaxing and chilling. Good. Well done. About time. And Henry's agreeing with James's comment. But I'm just saying, though, Johnny Evans coming back from Leicester to Man U. What do you think of that one, Yeti?
It's a weird one, mate, to be honest. It's odd because, you know, I like Johnny Evans, don't get me wrong, but I don't know, it just screams of we need somebody. You know what I mean? It's like, please, we need a player. We need a player.
Yeah. Is it a case of
striker?
He knows the outfit, he knows the club,
True,
he knows the style.
True. Very true.
You know, the experience he's had there before, going off to another club, coming back. Does he add that additional kind of experience into the squad?
True.
Interesting one, Will, from James here. Thoughts on Fernandes becoming the new captain?
Yeah. Honestly, he ain't captain material. When Liverpool was smashing Man United 7-0, he was crying and wanted to come off the pitch. Now I have to look at it. I have to look at it from my times as captains. Roy Keane would never do that. Vieira would never do that, and Stuart Pearce would never do that. So I don't think that's captain material. Sorry, I just don't.
Yeah, it's true.
And he cries all the time as well.
Big up, Jaminio. Good seeing you. Early doors. Yeah, hello, he says to us. Henry,
how you doing, guys? You all right?
As a stopgap kind of deal for Johnny Evans.
How you doing?
This is good to hear. Henry's saying, I will go channel surfing over the weekend. Laugh out loud. Be aware Henry is near. Yeah, that's good to hear. That's good.
I like it, mate. I like it.
Dominio agrees with your comment there. Yeah, Bruno is nowhere near captain material. He's such a huge moan bag. Definitely
100%.
is. Definitely is. That's for sure.
100%.
Dominio is saying that Lissandro should be their captain.
Exactly what I said earlier. Exactly what Juninho said and exactly what I agreed with. Lissandro is more captain. Because I don't know what it is, but some managers nowadays are frightened to have a captain that's about it. That's about, taking over and just this, that, and the other. And even Clough had pace. I mean, and he was all right with that.
Yeah.
So it says a lot. Even Alex Ferguson had Keane. That says a lot.
It comes down to the same old thing. I mean, back in the day and that, players feared the manager. Now, if you look at it, it's the other way around. And I suppose with managers these days, it's a case of, a player can't be bigger than me. And that's your problem as well.
Yeah. I think if I had Bruno Fernandes, I'd make him the leader of the Burger Bar. That's all I'd make him the leader of. Because he's just a crybaby. He's just a crybaby, and I can't have no respect for somebody. And my respect a little bit went down for Ten Hag when he did this. To be honest, you've got a player who's crying to get off when your team's getting mullered, and you're going to make him captain. What you should have done is turn around to him and said, you ain't playing for the next few games. I don't care how bad we're doing at the minute, but you ain't playing. You're going to learn from your mistakes, and that's what Clough used to do.
Yeah. Well, I was like Clough's always used to say, I always listen to players' opinion, but at the end of the day, and the only opinion that counts is mine. And that's what managers are like back in the day.
Exactly. It's like that thing I've got on the start of my video where he turns around and says, "Oh, what do you say to a player that says that you're doing it wrong?" He says, "Well, basically, what I do is we have a chat about it. We talk for 20 minutes, and then we realise that I was right all along."
Yeah, I remember that comment.
I love him. I loved him. Yeah. I absolutely loved him. It was
brilliant.
Somebody called me long-haired Clough at one point in the chat. And that is the best comment I've ever had in my life.
It's brilliant.
Love that.
Henry's saying, past next question, Bruno isn't a leader at all. And by saying that Rashford is a leader, I think. Yeah.
He's a leader of the children's school meals. That's about it.
There's something there in there, isn't there? And James is kind of agreeing on the comment. It's player power, unfortunately, which is completely wrong. Yeah, definitely. I mean,
100%. 100%.
The one club that stands at a mile is Chelsea. Player power's got rid of Santi, got rid of Conte,
I think
got rid of Mourinho twice.
Clough would struggle now, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. But when you look at it, those Chelsea players, they definitely got rid of some good managers. I mean, even if you look at it, Tuchel and that. I mean, what I liked about Tuchel when he first came in, it was his way or no way. But then something obviously happened, and then before you know it, it went the other way around, and then before you know it, he was gone. But I thought he was a good manager for me. It was a good fit.
Yeah, I agree.
Interesting.
I agree.
Interesting. January Varane would have been an ideal captain, but he's another one. Several injury issues. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. He would have been good back in the day, 100%.
Draminio, smash the likes up, everyone. Thank you much, Draminio.
To be honest, I'd rather have Varane than
all that Food for Kids program he did for schools. Yeah, he did some good things. Obviously, he got awarded for it as well. So, obviously, players out for United. Yeah, there's no kind of. Obviously, we know De Gea. Phil Jones, well, he's he can now do his gurning competitions now. He's got the thing to do. He'll be all right.
Bad time.
Tanzubi, and when you look at this one, I mean, again, another one that was kind of praised with a good career at Man U, but again, didn't fit with Ten Hag.
Yeah, I quite liked him actually. I thought he was a decent player, to be honest.
Yeah.
But if you don't fit with them, he don't fit with them, does it? Because that's how managers do it now. Instead of taking 11 players and moulding those 11 players to be winners like Clough did, managers now have to have certain types of players to work their formation. So I think the question is, was managers better then than what they are now? Because I actually think there was,
Yeah, of course. No, it's true. Yeah, I agree on that. I mean, obviously, here and there, Varane has had his career, in my opinion. Yeah, possibly has. He's been there long enough. Jimenez saying, wouldn't surprise me if Ten Hag win in for De Ligt. He's got almost half the 19 ex-team of Man United. Plus, he's miles better captain than the Portuguese moan bag. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, you get. It's definitely a Dutch kind of theme going on at Man United at the moment. That's for sure.
Yeah, I want that Sangaré from PSV. Ibrahim Sangaré. I was watching some YouTube video of him earlier. He's my kind of player. I hope we get him. I don't know how much
good luck on that one. I hope you do.
It might have been Ajax. I don't know. It was one of the Dutch teams anyway.
Henry saying, in my opinion, a captain needs to be a defender or a midfielder.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Yeah, definitely. They see it from a different perspective than a goalkeeper and definitely a forward, that's for sure.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, a goalkeeper, I can understand because they can see everything that's going on. But I think a midfielder is probably the line.
Yeah.
Or a defender because they can see everything that's going on as well.
But I agree with your comment about the keeper because for my eyes and that, even when I do coaching, that as far as I see it, a keeper sees the same view as what you do. You're seeing it from the side angle, and that they're seeing it in face value in front of them.
Yeah,
so they're seeing what's going on at the same time. But midfielder obviously is mainly your main kind of bet, isn't it, as a captain?
Yeah, 100%.
Followed up by the defenders.
Anything with a midfielder, and if he's not a midfielder with an attacking and defensive sense, then he isn't looking back and seeing what the defense is doing.
No.
So probably more a defender or a sitting midfielder would be better, a defensive midfielder who's probably the better captains.
Jaminio saying, I heard Sangaré is fairly aggressive and isn't afraid to tackle or get yellows. Definitely my kind of player as well. Yeah, that's what you want.
Yeah.
Someone that's going to...
See, that's it. See, Jaminio's my guy because they are my kind of players. I love those kind of players.
The problem is with certain people, they see those type of players as not kind of being the right fit. Yeah, it's true. No,
I just love players who put the shirt on and fucking earn it. If you don't earn it, then you don't deserve to be in it. End of.
Well, they're the ones that's going to get on the fans are going to love straight away, aren't they? They're the kind of type of players you want. Someone that's you've paid money for and you see him actually kind of playing for the club.
Yeah.
And someone that's kind of not afraid to get stuck in.
First time I ever saw Stuart Pearce, right, when I was at the Forest ground, I heard this tackle and you heard the break. You knew he'd broke the guy's leg.
Yeah.
That's the kind of players I like, who just go out there. I mean, I don't want people breaking people's legs, but, if he tackles him and he breaks his leg, tough shit. But, as soon as I heard that, I was like, that is just music to my ears. Just get in there, stop him, whatever it takes, apart from doing flying kicks like Cantona did into the crowd. Although that guy was a prick. That guy was a prick, to be honest, so he deserved a kick in the face, to be fair.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Yeah, but they made it as all been there. Obviously, like Henry was saying, that's why Spurs haven't won anything. Yeah, we do. Totally agree on that comment there. But yeah, no, when you look at we had it at West Ham. We've had, we had Tonka. We've had, the one kind of hard man as a defender was Julian Dix. Similar to PSC.
Julian Dix, yeah.
Definitely. If you're going to go in for a tackle and that, you're going to come out and you're going to win that ball. There's no 50-50s.
Definitely.
It's 100% on going through. That's it. Done.
Yeah, 100%.
That's your difference. James saying for outgoings, I'll just get shut of Sancho. Don't think it suits United at all. Yeah, that was definitely a strange run on that. Why they signed him, he just didn't seem to really find it. I mean, if you look at it as we've got the outgoings there, Spurs probably their type of player, to be honest. Probably do well for them. Jermaine saying United definitely need a midfielder because Casemiro is their only brilliant one. Definitely, I do like him. Eriksen overrated. Yeah, well, I think he's off as well. I ain't putting him on there, but I do believe he's off. McShite is McShite. Fred is a squad player at best. Van der Beek washed. Yeah. Again, another one.
I don't think Eriksen's overrated. I think he's just got to the point of his life where, I still think he did some amazing stuff last season, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
There's some amazing passes. There were some games where he just did what he used to do and all that kind of stuff. And I still think there is a player there, but I just think age is sort of getting the better of him. If you're expecting him to tackle and defend and all that kind of stuff, you ain't going to get that. But if you played him in like a number 10 where he's making chances and stuff like that, I do definitely think there's still a player there.
Yeah, true. I suppose that's why when you look at the likes of McTominay and that was getting more bookings than anything else because he's probably filling in that defensive area that he couldn't do. Henry's coming with, obviously, that's why Liverpool, where Virgil was captain. Yeah. Not being funny though, Van Dijk wasn't his greatest season last year, so hopefully we'll see a back to his original way where he used to be, what we known him for, because last season he just looked a bit slow. He got caught out quite a few times, in my opinion, but sorry, Henry, but that's what I saw of him.
I will give Van Dijk his due, though. One thing I will say is the midfield was like tissue paper. So he had a hell of a lot more defending to do than he has done in the past.
True.
And,
I agree on that.
So he was working a hell of a lot harder than what he was doing in the past.
Yeah.
So I still don't think you can sleep on Van Dijk.
No, I agree on that. That's why I like Atletico Madrid. Whenever I watch them, they always play aggressive, give 100%, and they love their yellows and reds.
Yeah. See, I love any team that gives 100%. That's what I'm all about. I don't care, win or lose. As long as you give 100%, I don't give a fuck. I'm happy. If you give 100% on the pitch and you lose 5-0, I don't care because you've given what I wanted.
That's the thing, isn't it? That's all you want to see. If you see your team play football and they get stuck in, etc., you'll be happy with that. You won't worry about what the score is. It's one of those you can walk home and think to yourself, those boys put it in for me today. I love watching that game. Yeah, I agree on that. It's a great comment. As James is asking, will Harry Maguire still be a United player after deadline day? Well,
I can't. Yeah.
I think I suppose it's hard when you got labelled at the time the most expensive defender. You get made club captain. Then obviously it goes all Pete Tong for you. You then get the captaincy taken away, and then you get rumours you're going to be going for XYZ clubs.
The thing is, it was never a captain, man. To be honest, to stand at the end of the game after you've just lost and just sort of not have anything to say and just go, oh, we weren't that great. We weren't that great in that game. We're sorry, and all this, that, and the other. I'm sorry, that's not a captain. That's not a captain. I'm sorry. Just for me, that's not a captain.
No, you want to hear the right words at the end of the day, don't you? That's for sure.
Of course you do.
Yeah, probably not James. Yeah. So Henry's just saying to change his question there. I think he will probably move on. It might be a last-minute deal. It all depends on the fee, like we were saying earlier. Maguire's asking Man U to kind of basically pay off the contract, and he'll walk away, which is probably going to be the best thing for both parties, I'd say. It'll suit the club down to the T, and obviously for the player, he can move on to wherever he wants to at that stage. Henry saying, huge failure in my opinion was with Sancho as Liverpool were in for him and he chose Mourinho. Yeah, I suppose at the time, Liverpool were winning things, whereas Man U were. So I can understand the reason why he possibly chose them over Liverpool. That could be that reason.
I take it you're a Liverpool FC fan, Emery.
Yeah, Henry is. Yeah, big Liverpool fan.
Yeah, fair play to you, man. I mean, at the end of the day, I think Sancho would have been better at Liverpool. I think there's just too much. I mean, there's a lot of like expectation at Liverpool as well. But I think when he signed for United and it took so long to sign him, there was just so much expectation on him. It just screwed it all up.
Yeah. Jaminio's comments here. I mean, some United fans massively overrate Eriksen, but he shouldn't be a guaranteed starter for them. No, I suppose like him and Kels.
Nah, yeah, I agree. He shouldn't be a massive. He shouldn't be an 100% starter. I mean,
considering what happened to him, come to Man United was a great coup to get hold of him after what happened. But yeah, I agree with that comment. He's not exactly.
He should have stayed at Brentford. That's what he should have done because Brentford gave him the chance after what had happened.
It goes back to the same kind of question that we've like Dunlop, James Dunlop said about Harry Maguire. He should have stayed at Brentford because he's exceptional there. But again, it's the lure of Man United, isn't it? That's where at the time.
Maguire was at Leicester, wasn't
he? Yeah.
Maguire was at Leicester.
James Dunlop, depends on who comes up with an offer, Henry. A mid-table side is an ideal move. That's why we're kind of linked with him. Fulham, no, I don't see it being Fulham, Henry, that's for sure. So there's either us and there's even Spurs being talked about. Jaminio saying, McShite is absolutely awful. Midfield of Jeff Hendrick, Conor Horan, and Alan Brown dominated McShite in midfield. At that point, McShite should just retire.
That's it. That's Jaminio's fucking Ireland hate, I think.
Well,
he has a total hate for like Irish players that like sell out and snake. So yeah.
Well, I won't mention he who won't be mentioned. Will be named then because I know if you, I just make Jaminio blood boil even more.
Yeah, don't mention Rice.
Yeah, Henry's agreeing with James's comment, but not Mitrovic goes. Yeah, should be interesting on that one. Happy with the Hammers transfer window, Tony? At the moment, it's typical of West Ham, basically. I hope we don't do the same thing we did last season. We tried to go for these players, but it just doesn't pay off. I don't want to hear that comment again. We had plenty of time to get players. And, of course, with this window at the moment, we've only signed one player, which we'll see, this 17-year-old kid from Ireland. And that's it. That's all from us. So, yeah, I'm not exactly happy with the window at the moment. I mean, obviously, we've got Tim Steadtine that's coming now as this new director. So, hopefully, with him, there's a chance of getting some decent players. But I don't know. It depends if Moyes has got control of that still or Sullivan's involved. Mark Noble. It's all up in the air at the moment with us, I must admit. Liverpool like an everlasting shopping list, like a conveyor belt in a supermarket or on the exchange. Point being shite, though. Yeah, I've got a very long list of players I hate. I'll be sat here for an hour listening to them all.
Yeah, mate, he has so many players that he hates. It's awesome, actually, to listen to it.
Yeah, that's an idea for a stream for one of us with Jaminio kind of thing in there. The list of players I hate.
Oh, yeah, well, I've got Jaminio down as coming on to mine, 100%.
Brilliant. I'll look forward to that one. Henry saying, I'm going to have an early night, not been sleeping well. No, take that time and spend it wisely.
Henry, enjoy your sleep, mate. Remember that we beat you 1-0 at our place. And then I think you beat us when we went to your place. I'm sure you actually won that one. So, yeah, it's nice for us to actually get back on the old Forest Liverpool thing. Big respect to you, man. Always respect Liverpool. We've got great fans.
Yeah, 100%. No, he's added on there. Spend the rice money wisely and you'll be gold. Yeah, but remember, it's only in 3 parts, so only kind of getting just under 34 million on each. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Jorginho's added just a few names.
Here he goes.
Declan Rice, Thierry Henry, Jack Grealish, Scott Hogan, Cyrus Christie, Callum O'Dowda, Jason Malumbi, Jeff Hendrick, Alan Brown, Conor Hourihane, Mark Travers. Oh, this list goes on and on and on.
Is Jack Grealish Irish then?
Well, there must be some involvement somewhere along the line. We should be interested, but unfortunately, the old Streambot's coming again. Please for spamming caps. Well, there's only people's names. Bloody thing. Thank you very much, mate. Keep up the good work. Thanks, Henry. Thanks very much.
Cheers, Henry, mate.
And obviously to you as well, saying exactly the same thing. And cheers. Thanks, Henry. Take care. So let's move on to the next club, Newcastle. Oh.
Yeah. 2 great signings there.
Just going on Jamino's comment there. Jamino, is there any sorry, from Henry, is there any player you do like? Yeah.
No, mate. No, there ain't.
No, yeah, probably not. Yeah,
if they're not Irish and they hadn't snaked at some point, then he'd probably like them. But other than that, you got no chance. So they got
Newcastle.
Finale. Brilliant signing.
Yeah, I mean that's a great sign and a good statement. A statement from them. And even this Minter, and he's quite good as well. But the problem they've got at the moment,
to be honest.
What was he now? I think is it midfield? I think it is. It's supposed to be kind of fairly decent. The problem with Newcastle though is obviously because they've spent in the last couple of windows, they're very restricted on what they can spend. So they've got to kind of get rid of players. I mean, James said in the Alan St. Maximin possibly going is a surprise to me. Well, you've heard the rumours. It's apparently it's all to kind of pave the way for Harvey Barnes, which they've put in a £38 million bid for from Leicester. So Alan St. Maximin is basically kind of is going to make way for the Barnes signing. But I think he's been injured though, isn't he? St. Maximin, and he's highly got a look in last season. But I've always rated him. What's the best way to kind of describe? I suppose in a certain way, he's not as tall as him, but he's very much like the old kind of Paolo one shot that used to come on, and you wonder what was going to go on. It'd either get you something, or he he's one of those.
To be honest, I've never heard of him. To be fair,
no, until we come to Newcastle, other than that, it's I didn't know much about him, but when he was at Newcastle, he did look really good. But I think last season, I think it was injuries was affected. I mean, as James saying tonight,
they need to get that 40 Sheila or whatever his name is. You ain't got him on there. He's a possible target. I don't know how to say his name, so I'm just going to say 40 Sheila because that's the only way I can see it. Cavorti fucking Shiala or something. But apparently he's awesome, so I don't know. I've never heard of him. So he was played for Napoli, and Napoli was really good last season. So he must be up there. He must be a good.
But they've done the decent thing. Chris Woods, gone to you. Got the Forest.
Yeah, that ain't the decent thing. They absolutely held us over a barrel with that one. Because, I mean, I've always liked Chris Woods, but I liked him sort of back in the day and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, he scored the goal against Man City to give us a draw. So, which kind of tried to help Arsenal out, but then they still fucked it up. So, I mean, we did try. But, Chris Wood is like, they had us over a barrel there, 15 million after a loan. I've got to respect Newcastle for that because they absolutely screwed us there. And John Joe
Matty Longstaff and Kieran Clark moved on. It's been released. Yeah, that's about right. And of course, when you look at the possible targets, Maguire, Kieran Tierney, well, that's an interesting one. You know, when you look at it, I know Eddie Howe's quite a fan of him, but obviously now Brendan Rodgers is back at Celtic.
Arsenal
are you going through?
Get rid of Kieran Tierney, but you know,
but I suppose it's more. You know, if he goes back to Celtic, it's probably going to be good for him. Tierney does a job when he comes on at Arsenal, but unfortunately, I think he's going to be one of those kind of type of players. He's going to be injured too many times there. I think he needs to
he's just
consider that,
mate. At the end of the day, he's an absolute 100%er. He just like, you know, that's the kind of player I like, Kieran Tierney. I think Arsenal getting rid of Kieran Tierney will be a big mistake because he can defend better than the Ukrainian ambassador that they've got.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he defends a hell of a lot better. And he also puts a shift in whenever he comes on. So I think it's crazy getting rid of Kieran Tierney, but he's probably said no to Arteta at some point, like Aubameyang did. So he's probably on his way out as well.
Yeah, you know, I think a few of them have done that, haven't they? You know, Nelly went for it at one stage. Balogun definitely did. Even Saliba at one point, because he went off the radar, didn't he, as well? And the one at the moment for me is Emil Smith-Rowe. He's definitely kind of down the pecking order, so it'll be interesting what's going to happen with him.
Another good player that probably needs to leave, to be honest. You know, I think that guy's got so much quality. Yeah, exactly. I think that guy's got so much quality, but I think he's another one that ain't going to cut it because, I mean, you watch that All or Nothing thing on Amazon where Xhaka turns around and said, in a few years, you're going to be amazing. And he just turned around and said, I don't want it in a few years. I want it now.
Yeah.
And that might not fit with Arteta. So, you know, he could be another one, and I would take him in a fucking heartbeat. Because I think he's a really good player.
I mean, obviously, you say the Harvey Barnes, the one that's, I think the medical's being done. It's virtually a done deal with that one, so he'll be a Newcastle player. And Moussa Diaby.
They've also signed somebody else, apparently, as well. They've signed 20-year-old Tino Livramento, who's a left back, cover for 30 million. He's a left back cover for what's his face? Trippier. So I mean that's good. I mean they are moving nice. There's no doubt about that. I think good last season.
You know, considering
they're moving well.
Well, yeah. When you think once they got taken over, and obviously, and then you know, being the most richest club on the planet, everyone's thinking, well, that's it now, isn't it? They're gonna wipe it clean. But give the owners their due; they're actually kind of being sensible. They are being
exactly. I love that. I love the fact that they haven't just gone, oh, we'll have you know, Messi, and we'll have this, and we'll have this, that, and the other. They're doing it the right way. And I've always got utmost respect for Newcastle because the fans are absolutely amazing. There's so many fans in Premier League that are just off the scale. And there's Liverpool are amazing fans. Forest are amazing fans. They just get beyond. They get behind the team no matter what, and Newcastle are as well. And I think I'm not just saying this because I'm on your stream, but I think West Ham as well, because I think all your fans have always been behind your team regardless of what's going on as well.
I mean, I don't know if you've been in the same position, but I know with us kind of thing, basically win, lose or draw, even with relegation, we always manage to pack the ground out. So that kind of in itself
exactly.
is something.
100%.
So yeah, I mean, when you look at something like that, teams like that, that's what you want at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
not like Chelsea, who just fucking sing when you start winning. That's not being a fan. People need to learn nowadays what is being a fan. You don't just go in the ground and sing when you start scoring. You sing to make your team to score. And that's what Liverpool do. That's what West Ham do. That's what Newcastle do. They're behind them 90 minutes, not just when you're scoring goals. And Chelsea are the worst for it.
Yeah. Well, followed by Man City when you think about it. I mean, that's definitely silence there. And not in certain respects, you can say Man United exactly the same at some point.
Yeah, exactly.
It's weird. 100%. Considering, like, you know, these clubs are supposed to be like the top clubs. It just kind of makes you, makes you wonder. But look 100%. At you guys. I mean, you're doing this.
I need to go for a pee. I know you've got us. I know you've got the European champions on the screen, but I need to go for a pee. And looking at those players in are fucking scary. I'll back in a minute.
No worries. So obviously this Ola Aina, apparently that's near enough done deal coming in from Torino on a free. The players going out, Andre Ayew obviously been released, Jack Colback, Lingard obviously, and possible target. So we'll wait for Yeti to come back in because obviously it's his club. I'd like to get some feedback from him especially.
Right, okay, I'm back. That was amazing timing, wasn't it, to disappear when Forrest come up on the screen?
Exactly.
I mean,
obviously, so that Ola Aina looks like that's virtually near enough a done deal.
I think that's done.
You do.
Well, I watched whenever you sort of link to a player, you sort of watch a YouTube thing on them, and most of the YouTube things on them are showing you what they do that's good, and some of them, not a lot of them, but will show you sort of what they do that doesn't work out. And the video I watched was of both, and it was like I saw him on the right, more on the left, and I think we saw him as like a replacement left back. But he looks good on the ball. He looks a good dribbler. He likes to try a few tricks to try and get round you and stuff like that. He looks like he's got a good shot on him. He looks like he's got good positioning because he was able to score like 1 or 2 headers. So, in that respect. And he's also kind of a flop from Chelsea or whatever. And then he was released from Chelsea. We've got a flop from Tottenham, which is Serge Aurier, which was one of our best players last season. So, maybe some players work in some teams and don't work in others.
Yeah.
So I'm not... it's a weird one for me because the way our team works at the moment, Cooper can bring miracles out of fucking nothing. So you can sort of look at a player for another club and think, oh, they're not that great and all this, that, and the other. But he has this ability, a bit like Clough, to be honest. He has this ability to bring the best out of somebody. So I'm all for it. The Will Brook one, I have no idea who the guy is. Never heard of him. Chris Wood, like I say, if he can do something in pre-season. Thing is that worries me about Chris Wood is I've not seen him. We've had 2 pre-season games now, and he's not been on. So what's going on there? Is he injured or what? I like Chris Wood. I've always liked Chris Wood. When he used to play for Leeds, I thought he was a really good player. But can he still do it? I don't know. That I don't know. Hopefully he can. I mean, he was there for that goal against City. But it was how that didn't get like goal of the season, I don't know, because it was like a 20 move goal against the best team in the Premier League. And they couldn't get anywhere near us, and we still managed to score that goal for the 1-1. But it don't count because it's just us, so it don't count in that
That's
respect.
the thing, though, isn't it?
Yeah, Manny Norkit, no idea who he is. I've never even heard of him, to be honest.
Probably going to be loaned out, no doubt. Welcome back in, Jaminho. Just a bunch of sit-in players that work in one team and flop in another. Yeah, it's true. It's with most of the team, most players that come in these days.
That's it. Some players work for some teams and some players don't work for some teams, whatever the scenario is.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, look at your players out. I mean, obviously the ones we already spoke about. I mean, obviously Jesse Lingard, that was a no-brainer in that respects. Andre Ayew, well, he's been around.
Well, that was a terrible signing, to be honest. I mean, there's a few games where I thought he's really useful in actually sort of heading the ball back and getting his control back and all that kind of stuff. But there was no goal threat whatsoever, and that's what he signed for. So that one didn't work out. But, at the end of the day, it's like, you just got to go on with what you've got to go on. I'm a little bit disappointed. I'm not going to lie. I am a little bit disappointed. We managed to stay up last season, and it was a tough haul, and we only just managed to sort of get it together. And I think I expected us to be not massively involved in the transfer market, because I thought by the end of the season, I mean, it's like Arsenal go on about the 5-0 at the start of the season. At the end of the day, you scored 5-0 against 11 players. 11 players that Cooper didn't even know. You know what I mean? It was a mishmash team, and a lot of them gave up and all this, that, and the other, which to me is just disrespectful. And to me, I'd just kick them out the shirt anyway. But, I think towards the end of the season, and I think a lot of people would agree, we seem to sort of get it together.
Yeah. I mean,
to have a team.
It looked a lot better, didn't it? I mean, I agree with what James says here. The fact that I stuck with Steve Cooper for that last season showed the faith they had in to keep them up. And that's what I liked about your chairman, because when you think about it,
that was amazing. I thought he'd gone.
To be relegated. I agree. I thought he was gone as well. But when the chairman came out and said what he said, and he's sticking with
that was amazing.
Manager,
that was amazing, because that is just something that you don't see nowadays. And I was absolutely amazed, because I was just expecting to see that, Cooper's gone. And I didn't want Cooper gone, because at the end of the day, not because of what he did last season and all that kind of stuff, I just thought he deserved a bit more respect, and he deserved to try and turn it around and all this, that, and the other. So I thought that, I just loved the fact. I mean, how many owners do you see that do that? None. And
exactly.
it was, I'd hope to see that same with you guys, really, because a lot of you wanted Moyes out.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you kept on with him, and the owners kept on with him and stuff like that. And, you went on to win in Europe, which was absolutely fucking amazing. So I didn't want to see Cooper gone, not for sentimental reasons, just because, you know, we are building something here. So that was, for me, that was amazing.
This is the thing. I mean, like, you know, do you agree with what Jorginho says here? And I think Forest will finish between 15th and 18th next season.
I think safe mid-table. I mean, I know I've said, like, on other streams, only messing around, really. I've had a few drinks and that, and you know how you do. I don't want to be saying that, oh, yeah, Arsenal will win it all, ball, and all that shit. So I want to just say that we're going to win the league, because at the end of the day, that is what I want. It's not the reality. I'd like to see safe mid-table, and then us to build on that.
Yeah.
That's what I'd like to see.
I mean, Jorginho's added in, Cooper's a really good manager, but he looks like a human gargoyle. I like him, though, and I rate him really highly.
Well, Jorginho, mate, we'd love to have the best. We'd love to have the best looking Welshman we know, but you know, you get the best looking Spaniard we know. So you know, we can't really compete with that, really. I don't care what he looks like. Fucking Brian Clough didn't look like the fucking most amazing Adonis, but look what he did.
Exactly. I think, like you said, though,
like, it don't matter to me.
It's clubs that actually kind of stick with the manager, and it's so often. I mean, you know, not being funny, when you look at Chelsea, for instance, Abramovich kind of got rid of managers like a bag of sweets, but it worked. Whereas if you look at Todd Bowley, that man's still got a lot to learn in the football game.
Yeah.
You know, recruiting the right manager for one. Hopefully he's got that with Poch now. But the fact of learning that you can't just spend money and expect results when you think £653 million spent and nothing to show for it. And all right, we know, going back we showed earlier, they've released a lot of players, they've sold a lot of players on, but there's still a good nearly £300 million short of what he's kind of spent out so far. So it takes a good chairman to have a stick with a good manager. So I think Todd Bowley's got a lot to learn on that respects.
See,
I mean, look at your possible targets. I mean, this one here, for instance, Dean Henderson. I think this has been an ongoing saga, isn't it, by all accounts?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a loan now, which is kind of weird for me because it just smells of not having enough money.
Yeah, well, I can understand. Like,
maybe we overspent in the other window or whatever, but at the end of the day, we had to, and Cooper had to make an 11 out of what he got, and I think he did that by the end of the season. I honestly do think he did that by the end of the season. He had a proper team that worked in the way, not the way he wanted them to, but the way they needed to actually face off relegation. And I think that deserved respect. I mean, at some points I was a little bit Cooper out because it was like, you know, this is just boring to watch, you know, and I'm not interested in this and all this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, he did what he needed to do. And the fact that the owners backed him to keep going with it was massive. It was huge. And I think that made a big difference to us staying up. It made a massive difference.
I think you should. You know, Cooper had the chance to kind of adapt and change, and he did that. And you can see that. And like you said, the way the team started to play football, and not just that, actually get some results as well. And to kind of, when you said, and I think most people would agree that when it comes to relegation, it's going to be Notts Forest. They'd be one of those three that's going to go down.
Yeah, of course they do. Of course they do. Of course they do.
But I think if you look at it, when you look at Steve Cooper, it's one of those. He's the manager. You kind of think yourself, he's like my next door neighbour, and I've got to support that fella. He's that kind of type of character. That's what I liked about Steve Cooper.
But we again set a record again. because, we've set records winning European Cups from nothing. And we again set another record by spending a load of money and staying in the biggest league. Because a lot of clubs come to the Premier League, spend loads of money and go down.
Yes.
We didn't. So again, we've set a record there which nobody takes into account.
No, of course, that's true.
Because I'm not being funny, right? But you could put Pep Guardiola in charge of that squad that we bought, and even he wouldn't have had it right to be Premiership champions by the end of it. So you've got to look at it in that respect as well. I'm very defensive on Forest, obviously, because I'm a Forest fan.
Of course, it's your team, yeah.
I
mean, obviously, the one that's just come to fruition today, obviously, Anthony Elanga.
I think that's done now.
Yeah,
I think that's done now, and another one I've watched on YouTube, watched a few things. I can't, I think I watched a few games last season when he was playing and stuff like that. But the thing is, I also look at it as when a player's a team that he's grown up in and he doesn't quite make it, there's a lot of pressure on that, because let's face it, all Man United fans expect somebody to hit the pitch and be the next Wayne Rooney. You know what I mean? So they do him down and all that kind of stuff. But I think when they leave, I think it takes that pressure off them. So I think him coming to us,
I think it's be a good move for him as well.
Yeah, exactly. I do. I think it will be a really good move for him. Whether he's going to be a world beater or whatever, I don't know. I've watched a few YouTube videos and seen what he can do and all that kind of stuff. YouTube videos ain't everything because they don't show the bad stuff that they do.
Yeah.
But, I'm all for it. Cooper is an amazing manager. And anybody we get in, he will get the best of.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, we were talking about Brennan Johnson, and I mean, this one here for me, Nevas. I mean, I was surprised when you got him in the first place, but I suppose if he is going to be going, it all kind of comes down to, obviously, you've got Jose Sarr and obviously Dean Henderson. I suppose it's reliant on if you get any one of those two for him to move on. I mean, obviously, age.
The thing is, I have a different point of view of Navas than a lot of Forest fans. Amazing goalkeeper, don't get me wrong. Amazing distribution. But at times, stopping the ball and dropping it into the box, it ain't the way. That is to me, it's like schoolboy goalkeeping. You get learnt that you've got to parry it away and put it to the side and all this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
And many times you just stopped it and put it straight back in the box. If you put it straight back in the box, there's going to be a striker on the end of it to put it in.
No, exactly.
So you don't do that.
I think that's the difference with, if you look at the Premier League compared to European football, and I mean, they do that kind of thing, and their football is a lot slower. Whereas you said, the Premier League, you're going to get punished. And, unfortunately, he found that a couple of times himself.
Exactly. I mean, and then you've got, we signed John Joe Shelby, who I was at the same point. I was going, that's a good signing. I like John Joe Shelby. He's got good passing. In the first game, he's shown that. But then all of a sudden he gave that penalty away to Everton, which I'm sure James Dunlop will remember, which was just fucking stupid. There's no point in putting your foot there. You was nowhere near the ball. It made no sense. Yeah. And then we had the game against Aston Villa, where he just did the worst clearance I've ever seen and just kicked it straight to their striker. Are you dumb? Are you stupid? And everybody blames Navas, but it wasn't Navas's fault at all. It was John Joe Shelby's fault. Did he have a bet? Did he have a bet on? Is he going to be up for betting allegations? I don't know.
Be interesting, wouldn't it?
At the end of the day, it just is what it is.
Yeah, it's true. Let's move on to the next one. So the next one, Sheffield United. So another team that's kind of come back in.
Yeah.
I don't know how you feel about this, about Sheffield United.
Well, we had a game against them and it all kicked off and all that kind of stuff. But I ain't got no problem with Sheffield United. But I mean, what is it? Anis Ben, I've never heard of that guy, to be honest, from Bromby. Benny Trial, never heard of him either. And never heard of the other one.
No, neither have I.
That bit.
I think this is where you got a question, like, are they going to be favourites to go down? Because just them three players alone on that is questionable who the hell they are for one.
I think with anybody, you have to look at heart. It's all about heart. It's not about who they sign. It's about the heart that they've got. And if they've got players that have got the heart to not go down like we did, then they won't go down. I hope they don't go down. I've got no issue with that. I don't like that prick fucking striker that they've got that fucking beat one of our fans up and never got any repercussions whatsoever. Good thing I weren't there because he would have got repercussions. But, that's just the way it goes.
We're talking about Billy Sharp, are we?
No, Billy Sharp was the innocent one. One of our fans, I don't know who it was, ran up and nutted him in the face. Absolute flying nut straight into the face. I don't know what that was all about. And then there was a fight between Kenny, I can't remember his name, Kenny something or whatever. There was something in the car park, and he beat the shit out of one of our fans, one of theirs, and another one, and basically just walked away scot-free from it. If you're gonna, the guy that hit really sharp got like so many years, which he deserved. So Kenny should have got fucking so many years as well. But he won't remain a Premiership striker. He's just a thug.
I think the question mark that's got to be raised then is the case of, like, if they kind of got that kind of reputation about them, kind of thing, are they going to be one of those teams that's just going to kick people all over the park? It'd be interesting to see, but we only find it out when the season starts off. I mean, James is coming and saying Sheffield United will fight hard, but they haven't got the squad to stay up. Could be wrong, but can't see them staying up. I think that's what we were saying there, James. I mean, these names have come in.
The thing is, don't discount anybody. At the end of the day,
true. I get what you're saying there.
One thing I've learned is don't discount anybody. If you just think that you're going to play a team and you're just going to win by 3 points, and if your team feels exactly the same way, then you're not going to bring the same energy as what they do. And they're going to bring the energy same way that we did. Yeah. And it's not going to work out well for you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Jamina is saying exactly the same thing. They're going to go straight back down. I think they're just going to be a little bit weak squad-wise, kind of thing. I mean, like you can see, they've got rid of a host of players. So no doubt they're trying to free up the wages to possibly get St. Kells in.
It could be, but the thing is, what you've got to take into account is a lot of people don't take into account. They take into account that football's a physical game. Football is also a mental game. And
absolutely,
if you turn up to a game, whether you're Arsenal, whether you're Man City or whatever, and just think you're going to win it, that other team's just thinking we're going to, exactly. So it's a mental game. And if they want it more than you, they're going to take something from you. Crystal Palace have been doing it for years.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Interesting, just come up on Sky Sports. Kylian Mbappe has been put up for sale by PSG and left out of the squad to tour Japan and South Korea.
Right, well, we're getting him next, then.
That'll be,
can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Oh my God, can you imagine that?
Wow.
Jesus, if we got Kylian Mbappe.
Arsenal fans are going to go in a meltdown now that he's up for sale. Jimmy put at least next season we won't see the comedy stylings of David McGoldrick in the Premier League. Yet you might remember him through his Forest days. It's true. Jimmy also put a player might be brilliant with Spurs mentality or sharp with Real Madrid mentality. It's true.
I'm just gonna comment on that because I was like asleep for that bit. But yeah, David McGoldrick. Oh my days! Oh my days! He was terrible, mate, for us. And then he goes to Derby and starts banging them in left, right, and centre. It just, I don't know what it is. I think there's certain like teams that can get the best out of certain players, and certain teams can't. Don't know what happens, but something goes on that stops them getting the best out of them. I don't know.
I'm trying to think. We had that at West Ham as well. I'm trying to think the bloody player's name now. He came from Leicester. He's banging goals for Leicester. Comes to us, and
yeah,
exactly. The barn door. 3 yards out.
Crazy.
Couldn't hit the barn
it's
door.
Crazy. It's same as the last best striker we had was Stan Collymore. He was absolutely amazing.
Good on PSG. They aren't messing about. Yeah, well, as we always know, no player is bigger than the club, and fair dues to PSG for doing that. I agree with you there, James. And Jorino's adding on to your comment there. McGoldrick is fucking awful. For a striker, his goals ratio is awful.
He was doing all right for fucking Derby. Now he's signed for Notts County.
Yeah.
I don't know, because we seem to get strikers. Even Billy Sharp. Billy Sharp scored a few goals for us, but nowhere near to the point that we should have got Billy Sharp when he was playing for Scunthorpe and he was banging them in left, right, and centre. But we got him later on. He was all right. Don't get me wrong, but he weren't amazing.
No, but I think for Sheffield United, he seemed to fit the bill, didn't he? It's quite interesting going back on that. When you look at it, he's one that's actually he's also now been released. Considering what he did from last season.
Billy Sharp was quality. Billy Sharp was absolute quality back in the day, but we seem to get strikers and then all of a sudden turn them into fucking shit. Yeah. I don't know how we have managed to do that, but we did.
So we come on to the mighty Spuds. There's obviously a couple of names on there. They've obviously already signed already. Kulikowski was obviously early part of the January window, etc.
Madison.
James Madison.
Yeah, good one. Porro.
Don't know. Porro again, another one. Then about this Vicario, the goalkeeper.
Yeah, but he screwed up when you guys played them the other day, didn't he?
Yeah, that's right. That's true.
It's only a friendly, but apparently Solomon was awesome. I don't know. So didn't see the game. So
when you look at it, we are Tottenham TV kind of turning saying that it's West Ham's final playing Spuds, and then they drew 2-2, and then we finished off with
look, mate, I tell you what, that's one of my favourite streams I've ever seen, because before it was paramount, we've got to beat them, it's West Ham, we've got to beat them. And then all of a sudden at the end it was like everyone was saying, well, it's only a friendly. Don't really matter, does it? It's the same as when you play in the cup and they go, "Oh, we've got to win this in the cup," and then as soon as they lose, it's like, "Oh, the cup don't matter. It's all about the league."
Yeah, exactly that.
It just cracks me up, man. Just cracks me up. You want to win every game.
Of course you do. And that's the philosophy. You should be doing it all times. And that. Obviously, I'm just going to go on what James said, because there's something going on by the looks of it. Obviously, Tottenham need to move on from Harry Kane. Is Levy worried about not competing with the others? Tottenham are way behind all the big clubs. Well, when you look at it, it's been a brave gamble, I think, bringing in Postecoglou. He obviously was an unknown that when he came in at Celtic, he'd done well there. And he possibly could do something at Spurs. But the recent thing at the moment is talking. There's something going on because Postecoglou's actually made comments about Harry Kane. And,
I think they need to ditch Kane, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I think Kane doesn't want to sign, does he? He doesn't want to, he doesn't want to sign. I think he wants to move on.
Me as a fan, I don't know about you, but as soon as a player says that, I would just get rid of him at the next opportunity.
I think the problem is because he's been there for that long, playing like his caliber, all he wants to do is score goals. But
he's such a. I'm sorry, but Harry Kane is an amazing talent, yeah. But he must have such a low mentality because he hasn't won nothing. And he should, a player of his quality should be winning something. In my opinion, with Kane, he should sign for Arsenal or he should sign for Man United. And if you don't do that, then I'm sorry, but the guy is just a waste. I mean, nobody's going to remember Harry Kane in 30 years if he doesn't do anything, doesn't win anything.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? I mean, at the end of the day, you've got to look at it. Goal scoring records are there to be broken. And someone else can come along and do exactly that and not make you right what you're saying. Yet at the end of the day, in a couple of years, if someone breaks the records, then it was Harry Kane. Oh, yeah, he was a fella that, he's second highest goal scorer. Did he win anything? No, he didn't.
It means nothing, does it?
Of course he doesn't. I mean, Alan Shearer must be laughing his head off at the moment, still sitting at the top and still with a Premier League title.
To be honest, I'd love him to stay at Tottenham to actually beat Alan Shearer's numbers because I'm sick of hearing Alan Shearer going, "Oh, I want him to leave and all this and the other, so he don't win my scores and all this and the other."
Yeah,
Alan Shearer was an amazing striker. Don't get me wrong, but he was never no Kane. And the problem with Kane for me is he's had no manager that's told him, don't stay deep, get in the fucking box and do what you're best at. He's had no manager to do that. And Gareth Southgate's not done it. And Postecoglu, whatever his fucking name is, should do it. If I was a manager of Harry Kane, I'd say stay in the fucking box or stay just outside the box and score fucking goals. I don't want you trying to win the ball back because I'm going to sign players that will actually win the ball back and give it to you.
I mean, James is obviously saying that Craig Burley said they are second rate and aren't competing. Harry Kane has got to move this summer. Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. If you believe the rumour, 1 minute he doesn't want to go to Europe with Bayern, but who knows? At the end of the day, even if he goes to Bayern, he'll win titles there. At least he'll win something, be it Premier League or the Bayern, with Bayern. So yeah, but he needs to move on. I think but going on what I said earlier on, it doesn't look good for Spurs. I think he definitely doesn't want to sign a new contract, and I think he wants out. So maybe he's actually kind of
to be honest,
after all these years.
To be honest, if that's the case, then what Postecoglu or whatever his name is has to do is turn around to Kane and say, right, okay, you can leave, but you know what? I want you as a fucking striker. Be a striker. Don't keep coming deep. Although you've got the ability. Oh, hold up. I'm fucking hiccuping. But although you've got the ability to fucking spray a pass and stuff like that, because he's got, I mean, that guy could be a number 10. He could be in midfield, spraying passes around, stuff like that. He could do any of that. But at the end of the day, if you want to show what you're all about, be around the fucking box. Stop fucking going into the other areas. But that's down to Postecoglu to fucking get the right fucking players to make sure they play the ball to him.
Oh, it's true, isn't it? It's true. I mean, obviously, James is saying 6 or 7 is where you reckon the Spurs will be. Not a chance that they get top 4. Yeah, I probably agree with that because I think they've signed these players so far, but they still need a hell of a lot more. I don't think Postecoglou could do a job there. I think he will do. I mean, it seems like he knows what he's doing. Like I said, he's an unknown. He proved it at Celtic. Can he do it in the Premier League? We'll soon see. It'll be interesting. James added, if Kane doesn't leave this summer, then he should just retire as far as I'm concerned. I did think that as well, funny enough, James. If he's not going to do it, at least he can retire with some dignity to be the top goal scorer.
He's got no dignity though, has he?
No, of course not. I mean, you know what I mean by that. It's one of those. At least you can walk out with your head held high a little bit.
Never won anything. So I mean, where's the dignity? He's never won anything. Yeah. Nothing at all.
Yeah, where's the dignity? It's just records, isn't it? It's more records than anything else. Welcome back, my Flossie. Hello again. James is off. I had a busy few weeks in work. Take care. See you soon. James, thanks so much for coming on.
Take care, James.
If you get the chance doing that, don't forget this man next to me.
Everton forever, man.
If you can, subscribe to his channel as well. Great guy.
Thank you.
Take care, James. Awesome. Speak to you soon, mate.
Thank you, guys.
Take care, James Dunlop. And obviously you too, Mummy Flossie. Yeah, so... I mean, obviously...
Flossie's back in the house.
She's back in again.
She must be a glutton for punishment. I don't know.
I mean, the interesting thing is, when you think about it,
we chat all the time.
James Maddison moving to Spurs and Harry Winks moving to Leicester. Do you think there was a bit of a kind of a tie-in?
Which
Keep
one?
The price down for Maddison?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, more than likely, I would imagine that is like a tie-in. I mean, the James Maddison one is... I mean, listening to that podcast the other day in the friendly against you guys, I thought James Maddison was really about it and he was really trying to make something happen. And then all of a sudden they took him off for the second half. I think they should have definitely left him on. I thought there was more players that needed to go off more than him, to be fair.
Have you two been streaming all this time? Yes, we have. We've been rambling on.
Yeah, we're like
Spurs at the moment. We've not got long left. We've got a couple more teams. We're nearly done.
He's down to early doors. He never shuts up, man. He never shuts up. He just keeps going. So we have to keep going. Big respect, man.
I mean, again, look, possible targets: Maguire, Vlahovic, and Gallagher. We'll see on that.
Yeah, everybody's got the same targets, man.
I know. Harry Kane, we've just discussed that. Pierre-Emile Hallberg to Atletico. Yeah, well, it'll be interesting.
I think Spurs wanting Harry Maguire is like getting rid of a bad defence and having a bad defence. I'm sorry. That's just the way I look at it. I just think you're getting rid of a bad defence to have a bad defence.
Yeah, I get that. Get another one in. Well, you look at it, Davison Sanchez, and you get Harry Maguire. You can see the connection. Mama Flossie say, no, it's you never shut up.
I do.
This
one was when I'm asleep.
Giovanni Lo Celso. I thought
I like Lo Celso, to be honest.
Yeah, I thought he was a good fit there, but maybe, let's see if it's true or not. But again, there's a host of clubs. So let's move on to West Ham. As you see, we've done...
Who's this team?
The Hammers.
Who?
Europa Conference champions. You know that team. Finished 14th in the Premier League.
European champions? Yeah, man. Big respect. Big respect, mate.
Well, I mean, this is the thing when you look at it. Now third season in Europe. That's one thing I thought we'd never see, but that's one thing Moyes is good at by the looks of it at the moment.
Mate, at the end of the day, Anybody can look at that. Any other teams can look at that and go, "Oh well, it's only this or it's only this, that, and the other." At the end of the day, you won in Europe. That's all that matters. So big respect for that.
And not be fun, and it's put us back into the Europa League. Win there, then it's Champions League the next year. So who knows?
Exactly. You're always blowing bubbles.
Well, that's that Anthem kit. We've got the result in against Spurs. He's doing well. So
I love that kit, by the way. I love that first kit.
The Anthem kit.
When I saw it earlier, I think that is such a massive thing for a club to actually take into account what the fans are about. And to have the bubble silhouettes on your kit is awesome.
It's good. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the video for it. You've got Ray Winstone actually narrating it, basically.
All right.
And you see him kind of going, they talk about the I'm Forever Blowing song from back from the 1920s. Did it come from, New York? Did it come from, down to, the local pub? Then it shows you a few of the players in the pub with the fans celebrating, etc.
Yeah.
So,
what is it about anyway, blowing bubbles? What is it all about?
Fortune's always hiding. As always, with us, fortune's always hiding.
Is that what it means? I'm forever blowing bubbles.
That's what it kind of basically boils down to, yeah.
Oh, right, okay. I thought it was a bit deeper than that.
I think there was a bit more to it. I mean, I have to go a bit more in depth into it. But, I mean, Ray Winstone kind of sums it up in a couple of minutes, kind of what it was all about. The one thing I will say is a bit better than that dreary North London song that they sing at the Arsenal, at the Emirates, every time they play.
What, We Are the Kings of North London or whatever?
No, it's this new one. What was it? It's so droll. It's unbelievable.
Do you hate them?
It is. It's not great. It's not a great song.
Do you hate them?
I think it's just more, the arrogance that comes with them. Unfortunately, I mean, my brother-in-law is obviously a staunch Arsenal fan. He was on with Claude and the Bouncers with Diesel, and obviously rest in peace, Claude. Mama Fossey, it's all to do with a player way back in the 1920s. I did do a stream about it anyway on the Anthem kit.
I've just never I mean, I've seen so many films where it's West Ham. I think the I can't remember what it was, but there was another one where it was West Ham on the hooligan film, and
Green Street,
blown bubbles. I just always wondered what it's kind of all about. Not being funny, I'm just asking.
Let me just try and quickly see if I can find it.
Why it actually, why it actually works and why it actually means something. I'm forever blowing bubbles.
So it says here the song was
originally written and composed that you get pops.
Yeah, basically. There's no two ways about it. It says here the song was originally written and composed around 1919 in the USA by Ken Brovin and John Williams Kelly. It was a hit on both sides of the Atlantic. It was very popular in music halls in the 1920s. According to the club records, West Ham's fans started to sing the song at games in the mid-1920s.
Right. Is that okay? Fair enough. I just wonder what the originality was with it. We sing Mulligan Tire and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know what the originality to that is either, to be fair. It's just, Mulligan Tire, wind blows in from the Trent, so obviously it's about the Trent River. But, I just wondered what it was all about. I'm forever blowing bubbles. I like it.
So
don't get me wrong, it's different.
So it says here, that's it. Yeah, that's it. It looked like a boy from a soap advert. That's it. That's the one. Yeah.
Do you like washing your clothes?
Yeah. It was a player, Billy J. Bubbles Murray, who played for the local park store, and it was evidence of the boy in the Bubbles painting by Milaz used in Pear's soap commercial of the time. So Headmaster Cornelius Bill begins singing the tune "I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles," and with amended lyrics when park players played well, and that's it coming back from that. So yeah, thanks, Mama Flossie, for jogging the memory.
Oh, nice. I like to hear the history of like things that people sing.
But as you can see, we've done exceptionally massive business. So far, we've signed this young 17-year-old Sean Moore from Cliftonville, an IFL player. I think it says undisclosed. I think it's excuse me. I think it's a fee of around about £170,000. Apparently, he's a future rising star.
Player.
Yeah, NIFL, Northern Ireland.
Oh, I thought you said NFL.
No, not
he's playing American football.
Look, that's how she knows. That must be an interesting conversation in the house, Mama Flossie. You know, someone from the Toon and a Hammer. That's how she knows. So obviously, players out. We obviously know Declan Rice finally got over the line after their lawyers went to Spec Sabres finally and got it all sorted out. After Masuaku, he finally went. We released that Lanzini, and obviously we've released Occo Flex. Again, he was another one that was linked to have a good future. But I'm glad that we've still kept off Nathan Trott. He's an upcoming star.
I don't get the Lanzini one because I thought he was a good player.
Was a good player, but I think it's one of those. His time he'd been there 8 years now. I think his time had been done. He wasn't getting in full-time games all the time, so probably the best thing. Yeah. So yeah, she's agreeing with me. It must be an interesting conversation. Oh, it is. But possible targets. Mate. No worries, mate. So let's go on let's actually go with the outgoing. So Vlasic, I think he wants to move on to Reno. He's been loaned out there already. I don't think he fits in with Moore's team at the moment, and it'll probably be a good move for him. And that's a shame because I liked him. He wasn't a bad player. He tried well, maybe tried a bit too hard. But yeah, we'll move him there. Is he or isn't he? Skamaka. Obviously scored the winning goal against the Spurs for us in the friendly. But I don't know. But I believe the rumour's true. Is he going to stay with us or is he going to move on? But one that definitely looks like is going to come to fruition is Cresswell. Looks like he's going to go to Wolves for about £14-15 million. But the interesting one for players coming in is this Carlos Borges from Man City. Yeah, I agree, Mama. I think it's one of those. He's been there for a while now. I think they're just looking at long term because he has been kind of holding back. I think with an injury, he's don't get me wrong. He's given his heart and soul to the club. He's played on, but I think there's something a bit more underlying going on there. So I think they're just looking at future ongoings. Is he going to be able to consistently play week in, week out? I don't think he will do. So possibly that's the reason why Cresswell's going to go to Wolves. But yeah, okay. So this Carlos Borges, kid's only 19, but it looks like it's virtually a done deal now from Man City, £14 million, and he's decent. He's a good player. If we get him, that will definitely kind of show that we're kind of actually starting to do some business, which is about time, really, because it's.
Is that Carlos Borges?
Yeah.
Yeah, we wanted him as well. I think you're going to beat us to the punch.
Yeah, I think it's virtually, it looks like it's near enough across the line, this one. So that'd be a good signing for us. Obviously,
well, if you get him, then we never speak again. Okay.
It's been a pleasure talking to you anyway. Thanks so much for your time. Don't forget to support Yeti's channel. Thanks very much.
Nah, fair play, mate. Fair play.
Like I said, one thing I don't want to see is the fact that we're going to be, slow to the market. I mean, yeah, we've been held up, definitely been held up by the Rice money transfer going on. Not say we were short
That's
a few, bob or two. We could have done something. Yeah,
it's disgusting.
It was better the way it was done.
To be honest, I mean, the thing is what your team should have done is just gone, this is what we want for Rice. If you don't hit it, fuck off. And then just dealt with the other stuff. I don't get why teams have to sort of work on one deal at a time. It's like the people that's dealing with these deals, are they that stupid that they might mention somebody else? Oh, sorry, don't need to mention that one yet. I'm working on this one. What has happened with that? Because you're probably, I mean, I don't know how old you are, but back in the day, we dealt with 3 or 4 deals at a time.
Yes.
Not just the one and then carry on. I don't understand this thing where we have to have one deal done before we work on others.
I think the way I see it like that, this day and age, unfortunately, because with most clubs now, it's that kind of fan element is kind of been taken out of it because it's more now a commercial kind of thing.
Yeah,
so it's all about,
and it's all out there.
Pleasing, it's making the money, and it's pleasing, the stakeholders. Can we get our money back? Can we do this?
Yeah, sure.
And I think that's where your problem is, and that's why, as you said before, you always just know that, well, we're going for XYZ players. Great, we're doing some business. Now it's the case of, right, here's this one first of all. We get that one over the line with, then we cross and go over someone else.
That's pathetic, though.
And yeah, it is. Because, as you said, the way Arsenal dealt with this, we wanted it done. We knew the player was going to move on. That was quite obvious.
Yeah, you 100% knew the player was going.
Yeah.
Just get on with it, get it done, and get out of there.
And now the worst part about it, because we're watching things, and it's like other clubs are doing business, and we're still kind of waiting for one deal to be crossing the line.
Does it mean anything to you if a player like who's going does like a video saying, "Oh, I love you, West Ham," and all this kind of stuff, but I'm going to join another club and stuff like that? Does that mean anything to you? Because it don't mean nothing to me.
I think the problem
it's like signing for another club, so fuck off, mate.
Well, there's that in it. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. When you look at the one like with Rice, it's the fact of he was dropped by Chelsea. We took him on as a youngster. We developed him into what he is.
You built him.
Yeah, it's not the first time that we've converted a player into an England player. We've done it several times.
Does that goodbye video do anything for you? Because it wouldn't do anything for me. I suppose it's a
case of maybe it's kind of, say rightly or wrongly, it shows a little bit of respect because the players kind of at least acknowledging that you supported me and I want to thank you for it, kind of thing. The fact
me personally, I don't care. You want to leave?
Well, I don't know if you've seen the comments, obviously, and unfortunately, we've got to go back to these people. Arsenal fans moaning about the video that we did. The comments we made about Rice because we didn't mention Arsenal Football Club.
Yeah, I have seen that, but Arsenal Football Club are a very sensitive little LGBT group. So, I mean, it's obvious that they're going to feel sensitivity. But sensitivity doesn't make no difference. At the end of the day, if, like, say, for instance, Brendan Johnson turned around and did a video saying, "Oh, I love Forest, but I've got to leave." Same as, like, what the guy that went to Chelsea did. Not Chelsea, sorry, Tottenham. Jed Spence. Oh, I'll always be a red and stuff like that. You won't always be a red because you're a fucking white, you prick. And that, it just doesn't. I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in your sorry videos and, oh yeah, I've had a lovely time here and you've all been amazing to me. Fuck off, mate. You're leaving.
I think what it was.
Go.
I think the reason why the Arsenal fans kind of made the comment about us not mentioning Rice is the fact of when you look at the Timber video with what Ajax did, and they're showing you him with Ajax youngsters, and he looks over to his left or whatever it was, and there's a kid at the doorway in an Arsenal kit, as if to say that's my new direction now. So Arsenal fans thinking, well, why West Ham didn't do this exactly the same thing? Don't need
why would you? Why would you?
You're selling him into a rival club.
I don't get that. It's like this new fucking be nice era and all this, that, and the other. You know, it's like I watched the fucking YouTube video earlier about somebody getting scared by the fucking guy that dresses a plant and scares people, and they start beating him up. And some guy turns around in the comments and says, "Oh, maybe he's got PTSD and it triggered it off him." Why are we like that now? It's like, who gives a fuck whether he's got PTSD or whatever? You don't know whether he's got PTSD. It might just be a major fucking twat.
I think, unfortunately, when you look at when it comes to social media, as you know full well, people just want to say things just because they think it's their way of kind of being put out there.
Virtue signaling and trying to make out of the fucking nicest people on the planet.
Exactly. And that, at the end of the day, and that, we know people are entitled to their opinions. It's obviously how sometimes people put it across. We know it's can be quite toxic out there with some of the comments. But
yeah. If you're leaving my club, I don't want your goodbye things. Go away. Get out.
You've done your bit. Yeah. I mean, obviously, he penned, what was it, a 3 or 4 page kind of letter on Twitter, or it was Rice, and the main thing
he was talking about Arsenal while he was still playing for you.
Yeah, of course he was. We know that. I mean, at the end of the day, look, he's done a job for us, and his name's going to be up in lights because at the end of the day, he's a captain that's kind of won something, and he's one of literally less than a handful of captains for West Ham that actually lifted a trophy. So he'd be remembered for that. But he's an Arsenal player now, and we move on. And that's it.
Yeah, 100%.
Simple as that.
I'm just getting
so obviously, if we do get these kind of Carlos Borges, should we get it like Paulinia, even Ward-Prowse, should we get hold of him kind of thing, then, we've kind of filled their gaps. I mean...
Yeah, I think if you could get like Ward-Prowse and Paulinia and Carlos Borges, I think that would be a major thing for you guys.
Yeah,
because I think you've always been on the verge. I mean, the season before, you was looking like you was going to challenge everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
The season before, you really did look like you was going to challenge everything, and
that's why last season was just a kind of bit of a strange one because, as you said, 2 seasons finishing in the top half of the table, and then last season, apart from the Europa Conference, league-wise, I think we was like you. We was very lucky to get a couple of results near the end that kind of pushed us to 14th, and I think we was lucky to get that. But
the thing is, I mean, at the end of the day, mate, what I'll give you right now is you've won something in Europe. Arsenal never have.
This is the thing, isn't it?
You know what I mean? And that's how you have to look at it. And it don't matter what it is, you've won in Europe.
I mean, when you think they've spent nearly 700 million since he's been in charge, I think we're lucky. We've
more
done
than City now.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the worst part about it. And not being funny, we've not even spent a fraction of that. But yet, we've done something more than what he has in 3 seasons.
100%.
So let's go on to the last team, and this is obviously Wolves. So again, very strange mixture, this one. As you can see, they have released a lot of players. Yeah,
Boubacar Traore.
Yeah, and Tom
King. Never heard of any of them.
No idea. But it's the players they've got rid of.
How can Matt Doherty be at fucking Atletico Madrid? That sounds like an Irish name to me.
More
Sorry,
than likely,
Jamie.
it could be. Yeah, probably one of those
sold out.
AFC teams, like grassroots football or something like that.
I think Wolves are going to
Obviously
struggle
Nathan
next
Collins,
season, to be honest.
Yeah, I think they will do. I mean, I don't think it looks good for them. I think this is probably the reason why they've got rid of as many players as they have.
Got rid of a lot of big players there.
Well, Ruben Neves, 47 million is obviously the big one that stands out.
Yeah.
Nathan Collins to Brentford, so Brentford, it's good business for them. Connor Cody.
Yeah,
I get that. It's moving down a division, probably good for him as well. But I mean, obviously Costa. I mean, that was just.
Connor Cody's an England defender. So
I know.
A good move for him to go down into the Championship.
Well, I don't know. You got to think. Maybe it's his way of just getting out of the club. He knows what's going on there, you know. But he could have gone elsewhere. I mean, we was linked with him at one point.
I think we was as well. Yeah, I think we was linked with him at some point. But I mean, sort of, if you're an England player and you choose to drop down into the Championship, that's not a good sign for him.
Well, depends what he's been told by Southgate. Is he going to be featuring as much?
I
can't be another reason behind it as well.
The thing is with England, they don't tend to sort of use Championship players.
No, that's Southgate for you, isn't it? Yeah, he doesn't like changing things, that's for sure.
That's a weird one for me. He'd have been better off coming to
Leicester. I mean, obviously, if you know, does that kind of give you an idea that that's Leicester's intent? They want to get back up straight away.
Oh yeah, fair enough. But I think he would have been better off coming to us and actually sort of trying to stay in the Premier League. That's just my point of view on him. I mean, you know, I think he would have stayed in the England setup and all that kind of stuff. I don't think he stays in the England setup by being at Leicester. But
no, I agree. And I think you're
that's
right.
Just my
I suppose it's like Henderson, isn't it? If he goes to this Saudi club and that, is he going to get much England games now? If he does go there, it'll be interesting to see on that. But I mean, I think Wolves, they're going to struggle. I mean,
it looks like a struggle to me, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't see any kind of targets they're looking to get in. Nothing kind of came up at the time anyway. There was names I'd never heard of. Nothing really to kind of write up on. So but no, mate, that's basically covered it all. So thank you very much for jumping on.
It's no worries, man.
It's been good, you know. Discussed a lot, and no, I think we should do all right. Both teams.
No worries, man. I think we interrupted each other a little bit because I think it's difference in speed of like broadbands or whatever. It was never meant. I never meant to do that. I don't like to interrupt people and stuff like that. So 100%.
Sometimes I think it's maybe the Irish in me. I do speak a bit quick sometimes. So maybe that's how I've got.
No, I think it was more me interrupting you, mate, than you interrupting me. Fine. So we might have different speed styles, but it's been absolutely awesome. I really enjoyed it. Glad to sort of jump on with you. I wanted to collab with you. So it's been awesome, man. Really loved it.
No, thanks so much, guys. You know, and like I said, if you want to kind of say your channel, please, and people subscribe to this young man's channel.
Right, okay. So if you want to listen to me just talking shit, because that's what it always is, it's a Forest channel, but it's also a gaming channel. And I will say anything. I don't give two fucks whether I get cancelled or whatever. I will still say what I think, and it makes no difference to me. It's Long-Eared Yeti Cave, Long-Eared Yeti's Cave on YouTube. So if you want to tune in, if you're a bit of a pussy, don't, because there's no point because you'll get into an argument with me, which you won't win. So, yeah, let's leave it like that. Don't eat Jetty's Cave. Thank you so much for Early Doors TV for having me on here. He's a total dude. I'll have him on my channel at some point. So,
brilliant.
Do it, man.
And obviously, just want to say a thanks to the guys that came on: Mama Flossie, James Dunlop, Jaminio, and all alike. Even Old School Gunner. Don't forget his channel as well, guys. If you get the chance to, Old School Gunner, Dave's a good guy. So, and obviously Henry Ray as well. See, we had a few people come on today, so it's been great. We've talked a lot.
Up to all of them, guys, and mate, you just keep going as you're going, and it'll build as it builds. Yeah. If you speak the truth, then you'll get the truth people in there.
Yeah.
You know, we can all talk shit and we can all just talk bollocks and we can all just speak it the way everybody wants to hear it. And we'll all become YouTube sensations in a second. But some of us just want to sort of be like normal people and just speak exactly what we think. And you're exactly like that. You're a real woman. Big respect.
You know, I don't believe in sugarcoating things because at the end of the day, and it don't really get you anywhere. It's just kind of say as it is, basically. You know, so we need to.
Delia Smith. I'll leave Delia Smith to sugarcoat shit, and I'll just talk normal and real. So yeah, thanks a lot.
No, but thanks again. Yeah.
Really
been a pleasure, mate. And we'll definitely catch up another time and collab. And Mum Flossie, good night. And we'll catch up again soon. So, guys, don't forget, if you get the chance to in there, hit the notification bell. Obviously, hit the like button, share, subscribe. That's to me, as well as to you as well. Enjoy the rest of your night. And I'll say good night for now. And good night to Yeti. Take care, dude.
Good night, matey. See you later.
Ta-da, mate.
Ta-da.